Introducing Pubcoin. Pubcoin is the rewards program for pub sports contributors. Regular chat contributors share their play of the day, POD, in the YouTube chat, including the phrase POD in their message. At the end of the week, the amount of units earned are converted into Pubcoins. Pubcoin can be used as reward points for prizes, shop discounts, and contests.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's Mills here, Pub Sports Radio. Do you guys want to challenge the personalities here at Pub Sports Radio? Do you guys think you're better than them at entering in your MMA predictions and picks? Would you want to get paid for it? $100? Here's how you do it, man. You sign up right here at the link below. It's just this easy. PubSportsRadio.com. Enter your email. Pick your weekly picks. That's it. Oh, and you get bonus points if you can predict how they're going to win in what round. Every single week, a new winner's getting crowned. So every Saturday on Pub Sports Radio. So come on and check us out. You can win $100 just for signing up. Only thing you need to do is see if you can beat us here at Pub Sports Radio by entering your UFC predictions and picks weekly. Do it. I dare you. See you guys soon.
Your membership to gold, you will be automatically entered in every horse race, every Wednesday and Friday. It is time to race horses. We are racing camels today.
Shout out to the gold members. We're racing in San Antonio immediately here. And we're off. 2 minutes, 74 canals on this racetrack. It's wide. We're racing in San Antonio.
Matt Wally moving forwardly. Jeff Slaughter in the mix as well. And as is Randall Sheffield, who's put that beautiful nose out front.
But it's actually real grass here, Jimmy. Maybe Kentucky bluegrass. Oldie, no! There he goes. There he goes. Oldie in the lead now. K. Wolf falls back. The horses love it. Sometimes they stop and eat it on the way to the finish line. That's why your horses start so far in the back. Here. Oh, look at Nuss Flush Allen bursting out here. J-Dub in the mix. Rude Boy up here as well. Jimmy, take it away.
There's Oldie. Oldie is moving to the front. We are past the halfway mark in our 2 mile. And there's Ricky Levy.
Oh my goodness, he's in the mix here. Jimmy, take it home. This is our first dog race ever.
19 seconds left in the horse race here. It's Fernando Mendoza trying to find the wire. 14 seconds left. Can Fernando Mendoza take this home? Here comes Kenny Kencan. Kenny Kencan wants a piece of the pie. Put his schnoz up front. Ricky Bobby, 9 seconds left. Can Donut Silks make a run? Can Res Mall make a run to be $50? You son of a bitch! Here comes Tori Coker. Kenny Can Smoke and Mirrors. Director 97 home. That is way. Here comes Jason Meyer, the other auto custodian. Billy Friedrich. Jones one. They're all coming down the finish.
Coin! Fired! Nowhere!
Oh no! Fanatical Jim!
From the Clark of Peter Low Shack, legendary sports handicapper, more dapper than a Dom. Father young phenom, known as Jimmy, who declared one day that the bag was here to stay. Information like a PSA, when we all PSR, Pub Sports Radio, bizarre. Is a man named Slaughter and he flipped the script. No competition in this but they quit the trip. But we say we be pubbing, better with the bag and you love it. You want a top 10, we above it.
What's up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Thursday, October 2nd to all of you. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. The chat firing away like I love to see. Justin McKelvey, stacks play today number 1. Carpenter, over 1.5 bases, plus 148. Stacks play today number 2. Stafford, interception, plus 105. Fap win. Delaware Park today, race 4. the number 1 tug at 11-1, and the 5 awesome Ruda at 5-1. Also tomorrow, Santa Anita race 8-2. Y'all come from the great Bap win. Pig Milk play today. Padres first 5 minus a half at plus 138. Alt first 5 run line for you, Darvish, and the Padres. Pig Milk in the house. Billy Friedrich says he's liking Guardians, Padres, and Yankees today. We got Irish King off a big day. Love to see it. Talk Sports with JT. Puka under 95.5 receiving yards, minus 113. And the Detroit Tigers money line, minus 102 for Talk Sports with JT. Swiggy shouting out MMA Mad Hatter, Earl Sports Bets, and Kale Reeves, the Reaver, who all had our first Harbor Acres perfect weeks. $1,000 to the capper who amasses the most perfect weeks. And we have our first 3 cappers on the board. Free bands play today. Rams minus 3 and the under 51 at minus 120. We got my dude cheering on his Cubbies. Razor off of 4 in one day. 14-1 to start the MLB playoffs, running hot. AOD in the house. We got Serious Business. What a great group. Ken Wood, Fernando Mendoza, Michael Johnson, J Dub, Ronnie Lofton, the Truth Teller. We got Spooner on the Padres, Tigers, and Yankees first 5 minus a half. I don't remember, and I know it's happened, but I don't remember such a big game started by 2 young pitchers like this that we're getting in the Red Sox Yankees game, 23-year-old and 24-year-old. It's hard for me to remember a game of this magnitude started by young pitchers. 9 Legacy flank steak play today is in. Steve G ready to get to work. Luchase Fox in the house. Just my 2 cents. Locker Room Talk podcast came out yesterday at 6 p.m. Eastern. Check it out. As you know, those boys are getting that cash. Great to see all of you guys. J Dub ready to get to work. Zo Cold ready to eat. Gerald Jones on the under 45. We are going to open with football. We're not going to get into baseball until Spooner joins us in an hour and 8 minutes. So we're going to open with NFL, and then we're going to go into NCAA football. We are not going to cap CFL with Bobano. We're just going to hear his picks. We're going to cap that with Gorky at the end of the show. AM says, Yo-Yo was in Nashville this week for work, but back home now. Great to have you back in business. Michael Johnson action here. Von Polo in the house. VP says, felt so good to catch Dodgers, Yankees, Guardians. I love it. Thank you guys for joining us. The Goon Collector in the house. And Nasty Nate, I did wear this hat for you and for Jose Bouquett. It's funny, I had pulled out the Yankees jersey, and then I stopped. And I thought of you two, a gentleman whom I cap with every day, and thankful to cap with you, and thought, you know what, let's get the lucky green Red Sox hat on. 40 Kids says, good afternoon from the Jersey Shore. Fellas, looking forward to the CFL content. We're running very hot in the CFL. Well, I had 2 bad weeks, but I got it back 4-1 week last week, brought my volume down, and got back to the winning ways. Goon Collector says, should have trusted your gut. Goon Collector. You know, that's the first time I've laughed in a while. It's been, you guys know, it's a stressful battle that we face here each and every day. We got Sportsman of the Year saying, Cream, get the money. Jalen ready to get to work. Thank you for joining us. Jalen, J Dub on the Padres plus 100, all copied and pasted. Thank you, good. God, you know, because this just the battle. The never-ending battle, which we love, but it can get you sometimes. Alec Dirks in the house. Great to see you, Alec. Thank you guys for joining us. Let's get right to a little blurry. Thank you. Sorry, let's get this. Thank you. There we go. Let me know if that's being fixed. Thank you. I don't know why that would be, but thank you, Razor, for that. Let me know if that's fixed. Sorry, guys. A little technical difficulties. All right, let's get to work, and let me know if the camera is fixed. Let's set this all up. Thank you, Goon Collector, my man. Let's set this up. Bobano will... Oh, it is blurry again. Jesus, what the hell? Why would this be happening? All right. Okay, thank you, fellas. Chosen one, have series bet on the Padres plus 300. Fix them blurry again? Are we good now? Okay, thank you, guys. Thank you for the heads up. I don't want that, so please, keep everything on the up and up. Sweaty Butcher in the house. Let's get to work. We started 8:15 p.m. Eastern with the San Francisco 49ers 3-1, 2-0 on the road at the LA Rams, 3-1, 2-0 at home. It's been a bit of a struggle so far this year for me. I'm 51-48, 51.5%, down 1.49 units, ROI down 1.51%, average line minus 105. And I feel like I'm seeing things pretty clearly. So I expect that we're going to be healthy in the black in no time. That is my expectation. Goon Collector liking the Rams here. Look, we understand the situation for the Niners. No Purdy, which is a problem. Oh, am I blurry again? God damn it. What the hell's going on? What the fuck is happening with my camera? Let's get this. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Jose. Please keep me in the goddamn loop. Maybe it's the green. Maybe it can't handle all this green. Let me know. Let me know if it stays all messed up. But James says, pull the camera closer. I can, but I am in a fixed studio. Razor says, I blame the hat. If it was Phillies, it wouldn't be. Okay. Well, let's get to work here, and let me know if we can get this blurriness fixed. Toby Lane, and that was great to see you, Toby. Okay, so back to this spot here. Back to the spot, and we have our star of Thursdays ready to rock here. And I've got a lot to say about this football game, but we got to move quickly because we need to milk every last second with our next guest, coming to us from Canada's black and yellow steel town, Hamilton, Ontario. Still Carter's favorite song, Black and Yellow. It's lasted for over 2 years as his favorite song. Please welcome our guy, Mr. Ian Cameron. Mr. Bobano, how are you?
I'm good, Jimmy. What's up? How's everybody? Things good?
Things are great, Bobano. Right. Let's attack, my friend. So 49ers Rams. You guys know me, NFC West, my division. And I bet unders nonstop. And I cashed unders over and over and over and over again. This total came out extremely high. My thought, well, obviously we know that the 49ers, whether it be with Mac Jones or Brock Purdy, we know Purdy's out. But when the line and total came out, we thought Purdy would play. They're throwing for 280 yards a game. That's second in the NFL. And who's third? The Rams. I'm not used to these two offenses being so pass-oriented. And we know that McCaffrey's had trouble on the ground, but he's still putting up massive yards, receiving passes out of the backfield. Toby Lane saying he's big on Sam Houston. We're going to get into all of that here with the great Ian Cameron, star of the Hitting the Books YouTube channel. Yes, Juwan Jennings, Pearsall out, and Purdy out, which is not good. But I still didn't. I was alarmed at the high total, and I still bet it. And now, with the mass exodus of star talent from the 49ers, it looks great. And I didn't even get it at the very highest point. I got 46.5, under 46.5 full game, and under 23.5 first half. I got the under 23.5 was minus 115. The under 46.5 was minus 110. And that's now dropped down to 44.5. And you hear Billy Friedrich saying, I don't know how the Niners are going to score. We have a 9 right now. It is juiced to the 49ers. It doesn't really appeal to me in a divisional battle where Shanahan is going to try so hard. You know, there was a comment on the Sauce Network last night that said, Mac Jones legacy game loading. You know what? I think that if anybody's capable of a legacy game here, it's Shanahan. He is, and we watch these great coaches say, watch what I can do here with this makeshift group. I don't necessarily expect it. Kittle is out. Of course, yeah, Kittle's on IR, so Kittle's long gone. I just mean it's Tungus who's been getting all the run at tight end. And he's been pretty good. He caught 3 passes, 58 yards, and a touchdown. So the issue here is we haven't even talked about Bosa being out. The pass rush is non-existent. Michael Williams, their their first draft pick. He has to step up, but he's got a wrist injury that he probably wouldn't be playing if this pass rush was healthy. Yetur Gross-Matos is hurt, but he shouldn't even be starting. This is a bad situation for the 49ers, and they're in deep, deep trouble here. But I'm not doing anything else other than the 23.5 and the 46.5. Let's take a look at the cash flow here and then have Bobano fire away. 69% of tickets, 86% of cash is on the Rams, and 73% tickets, 82% cash is on the under. Luca giving us final score of Rams 31, Niners 13. Billy Friedrich on Niners team total under 17.5. Dougie Wise says Niners will fight. Take it away, Ian. The floor is yours, my friend.
Yeah, if you got on the Rams early, you probably on the right side. You're probably going to be able to cash a ticket if you got on them early. But tell you what, at 8.5, 9, it seems rich. I know it's a banged up team. On Brock Purdy's out, George Kittle's out, Juwan Jennings is out. I mean, it's a laundry list, especially on offense. And of course, prior to the Jacksonville game, they lost Nick Bosa, and I cashed a ticket with Jacksonville against the San Francisco team on Sunday. And like I said, I don't trust San Francisco laying points. I don't. But they're not laying points here. They're getting 8.5. They're getting 9. You're not getting any value now on the Rams because of all the injuries. It's already well accounted for. In fact, I think it's inflated, this number. So I'm not going to make anything official on this game, but I did grab a very small San Francisco bet at +9. I found some 9s out there with San Francisco. I had to take 9. It's a divisional game still. Mac Jones is not a complete stiff. I think he's played okay when we've seen him start earlier this year. Now, this is a different kind of test here. Better team, better defense. But Jones has played okay. Now, I am concerned about the lack of weapons. I'm concerned about the O-line. I'm concerned about the lack of pass rush, which has clearly been on display since Bosa's injury. And if you don't put pressure on Stafford, he can burn you with the likes of Nakua and Devontae Adams, a great combo at receiver. But we're talking 9 points in a division game. We're talking about a series history where San Francisco's actually 6-4 in the last 10 meetings against the Rams, McVay versus Shanahan, and the 4 Ram victories in those 10 games against the Niners, they were all by margins of 6 points or less. There hasn't been a single Rams blowout over the 49ers during this recent run of head-to-head matchups. So not an official play, let me stress that. But I did grab a tiny bet on San Fran at +9.
Yeah, and I get it. And I will look to get it. The wonderful thing about having any interest in a dog is live betting. Yeah. We know what happens when the favorite goes up a touchdown. I mean,
that might be even better. Don't put all your, the money you're putting on the 49ers to pregame. Maybe let it simmer. Let the Rams go up 3-0 or 7-0 early in the game, and then add a little bit more if on the Niners.
It's been working. It's been working tremendously. And we have a big live stream tonight. I'm on my way to Niagara Falls after the show here today. We are having no show tomorrow. There's no betting with the bag tomorrow, but there is a Thursday night live stream hosted by Jose Bouquett that will be both Yankees, Red Sox, and 49ers, Rams. And speaking of what's working
that'll be worth tuning into just to see Jose's reactions to the baseball game. Yeah.
Oh, he takes it very seriously.
Yeah.
On our NFL live stream so far this year, I'm 15-5 plus 9.2 units with ROI at 46%. And I'm looking at my action here. Look at these cash. So it's Cowboys plus 15.5 cash, Cowboys plus 10.5 cash, Cardinals plus 10.5 cash, Lions plus 7.5 cash, Raiders plus 11.5 cash. I mean, it's the same thing that's working here. And it's, if you have interest in the dog, you are in a perfect position to live bet. And so, just keep, of course, I know you guys know that, but it's an important thing to recognize how much more difficult it is to live bet a favorite. That's all. It's just much, much more difficult. So Sky saying Niners a great spread bet and grab Rams live if you get a better number. Yeah, it's but I'm on the under, and I understand why you're on the 49ers +9, because is this crucial to McVay, who's dealing with the plantar fascia rip? Is this crucial? No. Is this crucial to Shanahan? It is, because they need to have some confidence in life moving forward to deal with all these injuries. They need to be in this football game. They can't get blown out and destroyed because nobody's going to want to come to the facility the next day. We roll on. A great breakdown. We move on to college football with Ian Cameron. We start tonight, and then we have best bets from Ian Cameron. Thursday, October 2nd, we have the Sam Houston Bearkats getting it all started. They have not looked good this year. 0-4, 0-1 in the Conference USA at the New Mexico State Aggies, 2-2. And they are also 0-1 in Conference USA. They're coming off back-to-back road losses, and Sam Houston is coming off a bye week. It's a pretty interesting situation here. The Aggies coming off a 38-20 loss to the Lobos, University Stadium, 40,000 packed. And New Mexico State was up at halftime, outscored 24-3 in the second half. So back-to-back road losses for the Lobos. And can the Bearkats put something together after the bye week? They also had back-to-back road games. They played at Hawaii, lost by 17. They played at Texas last time we saw them and lost 55-0. Let's take a look at the line history and hand it over to Ian. First off, are we surprised that the Bearkats are favorites here? They opened up -1.5. Now we have a -2. This did get up to 2.5. It spent a while at 2.5. Came back to 2 this morning at 9:38 a.m. We get to the total for this one here. We have a 53.5. This is not last year's Bearkats defense. This total opened up at 53.5, dropped down. It got down to 52.5 before it started climbing. Now we're right back from where we started. And when we get to the cash flow for this one, we have 72% of the tickets on the Aggies and just 51% of the cash. It certainly feels like the Bearkats are sharp here. We have 67% of tickets on the over and 71% cash on the over. Take it away, and thank you guys for the warm thoughts about getting away for a couple days. I will be back for Sunday morning NFL Pub Hub. Don't worry about that. I will be back, but going to take a couple days with the fam and the kids in the pool and all that. We got warm weather here. I'm excited to have some time with them. Take it away, Ian. Bearkats, Aggies, Aggie Memorial Stadium.
You have to allow Jimmy time with the family, because if he doesn't give time to the family at some point, he won't have a family anymore. So you have to remember that.
That's true. And also, if I don't win here with you guys, it's two-pronged. Yeah.
It is. So the pressure's on. Pressure's on Sam Houston State. They stink right now. They're terrible. They haven't covered a point spread yet. I've said all along, I don't think Phil Longo was a good coaching hire. Not a good fit. He's trying to turn a team that was run-heavy, slow-paced into a more passing oriented, faster paced offense. It hasn't looked like a good fit. Offense has had issues, and the defense has been abysmal. Can't stop anybody. So it's very difficult to lay points on the road with Sam Houston. Everything's telling me you got to back New Mexico State. They've looked at least competent. They're a home dog. They gave a much improved New Mexico team a pretty solid effort last week. They got out early, and fortunately in the second half, New Mexico took over. New Mexico's the better team, but like I said, New Mexico State, Logan Fife, the quarterback, they can't stop anything in the secondary. So he should be able to throw on this Sam Houston defense. The only thing I'm hesitant on, and this is a game I didn't bet, but the only thing I'm hesitant on is you can ask for a better spot for Sam Houston State. They are a bad team. They have looked bad so far. They're off a bye week. They're playing a New Mexico State team that's coming off a rivalry game against New Mexico last week. Expended a lot of energy, a lot of effort. If Sam Houston's going to get one, it could be this spot. But I don't trust him enough. It's a pass for me, Jim.
It's very difficult to get there.
It is.
Which means that I should find a way.
Yeah.
I just, this line, like Toby Lane is saying,
beautiful spot for Sam Houston State. Situational scream Sam Houston State here. Wow. Bad football team, but they're off a bye week. I don't know if that matters. They're pretty bad, but if they're ever going to put something together of quality and improvement, this could be a spot. And like I said, you do have New Mexico State coming off playing New Mexico.
God, I think I'm going to try to get there. It's sickening to say that, but I don't see how. I got to try to get there. Shout out to Gerald Jones, his daughter Lyrica's birthday tomorrow as well, turning 5 months older than Carter. And Sweaty Butcher says, we got a baseball game tonight, so I won't be able to join the live stream, but I'll be ready for Pub Hub, and I'll be live from Vegas. Oh, I love it, Sweaty Butcher. Sky says, just take the under.
There's a real problem at quarterback, too, for Sam Houston and a conundrum, because Phil Longo, I think, wants to give Mabry Mettauer the starting reins. He's the guy that he had at Wisconsin when he was the offensive coordinator there. He's the better pocket passer. He inherited Hunter Watson, who returned to Sam Houston after playing there last year under Casey Keeler, who is, of course, now departed. So I think he gave Hunter Watson the first looks, but he started to sprinkle in a little Mettauer, and I think it'll be interesting to see tonight what happens from the quarterback spot, because I believe Watson's going to start, but if they struggle again, it's probably going to be a short leash, and he's going to go to the quarterback he brought with him to Sam Houston State, and Mettauer maybe at some point.
I love the breakdown. I'm interested, and Not Flush loving New Mexico team total over in this one. So it's going to take. So I mean that
I can see that there are bad defense, really bad Sam Houston. So I could see that.
It's the mass exodus they had this past year was so it sucked. Right when you see this defense really building something special, they all jet for greener pastures. Let's roll on to best bets here with Ian Cameron. We start Friday, October 3rd. We just talked about the New Mexico State Aggies. Now we talk about the Lobos. We have the Lobos here opening up their Mountain West account 3-1 after taking out the Aggies. We just spoke about that game 38-20. The real impressive performance was at UCLA, destroying them 35-10 as 15.5-point dogs. So they've won 3 straight and feel good about themselves. And there's nothing wrong with losing at Michigan 34-17 to get the season started. Now, they were down at half to the Aggies at home, but they took care of business in the second half. Then we have San Jose State. That was an impressive 30-29 loss at Stanford. They were up 20-14 at the half. They closed as 3.5-point dogs, opened as 2.5-point dogs, closed as 3.5-point dogs, and played the Cardinal tough. A weak Stanford Cardinal squad. Let's get into the line history here for Ian and see how he is attacking his Friday night best bet. So I just got to move over to full NCAA coverage, and here we go. We have at this point San Jose State -2 at -115. This opened up at 3, and it lasted there for about 40 minutes before it went down to 2.5, and then it moved to 2 this morning. So a full point move towards the Lobos. Total wise here, we have this sitting at 57.5. This is juiced to the over. This opened up at 55.5. And this took a little longer. We know that it moved pretty quickly towards the Lobos within 45 minutes, but this took about 3 hours. And in 3 hours, it moved up 1.5 to the over. A huge move. We're not talking a half point or a point. We're talking 1.5. And it kept climbing. This got up to 58.5 before there was a point of buyback down to 57.5. And then when we get to the cash flow here for this spot, give me 1 second as it loads up. We have 70% of the tickets and 68% of the cash on the Lobos, 50% of tickets on the over, but 93% of cash on the over, and the market moving 3 points before it got a point of buyback. Take it away for us, Ian. Lobos Spartans in San Jose, California.
I look at this matchup as I think New Mexico's offense has really looked solid. Jack Lane at quarterback. They got a good run game, good O-line, some decent weapons. The San Jose State defense that has looked pretty bad at times this year. And Jason Eck, I think, was a great hire. Did great job at Idaho in the FCS. That's what got him this opportunity with the Lobos. Really been impressed with New Mexico. What I got impressed is how mentally tough they are. They started the game terribly against New Mexico State, and yet they rallied and just took over that game and ran away with it 38-20. Very, very impressed with New Mexico. They might be the better team this year, and I thought San Jose State was going to be really good in this conference, but I continue to be underwhelmed. That was a terrible loss for them against Stanford. They had that game, and then they give up the last-minute game-winning touchdown drive against Stanford. Their defense continues to struggle. I can't lay points with a bad defense. And right now, to me, San Jose State looks like a bad defense. I like Walker-Eget. We've seen the offense look capable at times. But, the markets have been very, very slow to react to New Mexico. That's why they've been a great point spread team. They might be a little bit behind New Mexico here once again. I like New Mexico. I think they could win this game outright. So I like New Mexico here, +3, -116, and I am with the market here on this total as well. I think it goes over. I've got over 57 at -120.
Over 57 at -120. And New Mexico +3. What was the VIG on that?
-116.
-116 in business. The Lobos +3 at -116 and the over 57 at -120. Rolls us into Saturday Best Bets with Ian Cameron, star of the Hitting the Books YouTube channel, 12 p.m. Eastern. We have a game that we spoke about yesterday. We had our guy Wine Time Sports give us the Bearkats at home at Nippert Stadium on the money line at -120 and faced Cappers on the other side. A lot of Cappers have made money off of Iowa State and certainly got paid when they destroyed Arizona at home. We talked about Iowa State not winning by margin last week, and that changed in a hurry when they destroyed Arizona. Unfortunately, Winetime and I were both on the other side backing Arizona. Cincinnati coming off a really nice performance at Kansas, stepping up in a big, big way. I don't want to have the breakdown from yesterday, as that will be up on the channel, and that was when I broke down this game of Wine Time. What we want to hear is Ian Cameron's breakdown today. This total opened up at 52.5. It has climbed to 55. And on the point spread here for this one, we have it sitting right now, Cincinnati. Oh, sorry, I just blew past it. Cincinnati right now -1.5. This opened up at +1, moved to a pick'em, got up to -2. This was -2 yesterday from 9:30 in the morning until about 1:30 in the afternoon, and then it dropped back to the 1.5. And cash flow wise, we have the same deal that we were with yesterday. 51% of the tickets and 93% of the cash on Cincinnati, 69% of the tickets on the under, and 52% cash on the over. I almost bet this morning, and then I thought, let's hear Ian first. So I almost moved on Cincinnati with Wine Time, but I thought, you know what, if we can spend some more time breaking this game down, it'll only help. Dougie Wise also on Cincinnati. Take it away for us, Ian. Cyclones, Bearcats, Nippert Stadium, Cincinnati, Ohio, 75 Fahrenheit, sunny 5-mile-per-hour wind.
Yeah, we're on the clock, so I'll go quick. I like Cincinnati as well, but I'm going with the team total. Team total over 27.5, -108. Brendan Sorsby in this offense looks better and better each week. I was impressed going to Kansas and putting up 37 points. That offense looked dynamic. They could run it. The passing game was impressive. Sorsby, Cyrus Allen's a great receiver for Cincinnati. And Iowa State comes in here with not one, but two starting corners out for the season. Secondary ravaged with injuries. And they were really two good players, both of them, all Big 12 conference selections coming into the season that Iowa State now has lost in back-to-back weeks to injury. They lost one of the corners last week against Arizona. The other got injured the week before, Jeremiah Cooper, John Tez Williams. Both of them gone for the season. Terrible blow to this Iowa State pass defense. And when you look at Cincinnati's passing numbers, they're a bit of a stronger passing team than run team, and they could really, really feast on a very shorthanded, very depleted Iowa State secondary here in this game. And that's a big concern for me for Iowa State going on the road here to Nippert Stadium. So I like the Bearcats team total over. That being said, I don't trust Cincinnati's defense fully, which is why I'm on the team total, not the -1.5. I don't trust Cincy's defense. I still don't think they're great. Kansas was able to move the ball, and Rocco Becht and Iowa State got their offense in gear. You know, their offense had kind of been sputtering, inconsistent first few weeks. They finally got it rolling last week against Arizona. I was very impressed, 39 points against the Wildcats. So I think Iowa State moves the football and puts up points here too. So in addition to the team total, I am also on over 54.5, -108 in this game.
Over 54.5 at -108
Yep.
as well for Bobano. Cincinnati team total over 27.5, correlated action will wine time, and the over 54.5. Welcome, Adam McPherson, to the show. We got Stand On Biz, 40 Kid, Chris Warren, Wine Time Sports. And so we have a bunch of games here from Ian, and the first two are spots that we talked about yesterday. Then we go into all brand new: Boston College, Pittsburgh, Air Force, Navy, Vanderbilt, Alabama, Boise State, Notre Dame, James Madison, Georgia State, Virginia, Louisville, Michigan State, Nebraska, Coastal Carolina, Old Dominion, Duke, California. So here, though, we have a game that we talked about yesterday. And again, I almost bet this, but I wanted to hear a little bit more from you in this one, Ian, because we had JT, we had Justin McKelvey, we had Wine Time Sports, all on the Purdue Boilermakers coming in off their bye week. Illinois, of course, getting annihilated by Indiana and coming back and getting us paid the buy low spot on Illinois against USC, who still questions about how good they are when they travel. And I thought, let's just wait and hear some more. So we have the same line that we had yesterday. This is sitting at 9.5. It actually was at a 9 during the show. It didn't move to 9.5 until just after wine time left here. And the 9.5 is sitting here at minus 110. This opened up at 10 and it got down to 8. It got all the way down to 8 before there was buyback. The buyback is the reason why I probably didn't want to just to hear more about the spot, although we have very sharp cappers on the Boilermakers. From a total standpoint here, we have this one sitting at 56. This one opened at 55.5, and it climbed up all the way to 57.5 after our show ended yesterday. It was a big move. Now we're down to 56, 1.5 of buyback. And when we get to the cash flow for this Purdue spot, come on, I should have had this set up here so I could find it. We have 57% of the tickets and 68% of the cash on Illinois, and we have 67% of the tickets and 89% of cash on the under. Perfect timing. My co-host and Bankroll Blitz, Troy Torrance, here with us. Take it away, Ian. We have the Illini at the Boilermakers in West Lafayette.
Yeah, I think it's Illinois up 1 week down 1 week against Indiana, up last week with the win against USC, although I noted last week with that game that USC is terrible in these early start, games on the road where they've got to travel to the Midwest and the East Coast. They've been awful in these situations, and I think Illinois kind of capitalized on that. I think now we go back the other way and fade Illinois. You give me a quality coach like Barry Odom, and you give him the bye week and extra time to prepare with this Purdue team, I think they're going to have one hell of a game here. I think they're going to really push Illinois in this game. You look at Ryan Brown. If he doesn't turn it over 3 times in the red zone versus USC, that is a game that goes down to the wire. Notre Dame, kind of the same thing. It was really turnovers that really kind of let that score get out of hand for Notre Dame against Purdue. I like the bye week, the extra time to prepare with a great coach, getting points at home. And don't forget last year, and that was an all-time bad Purdue team. All-time bad Purdue team last year. And they still took Illinois to overtime in that game last year. It was one of those crazy games. And 50-49 was the final score last year in that game. So I think Purdue's in this game. I like them plus 10, minus 110. And I'm also on this over 55.5 at minus 115.
Over 55.5 at minus 115. And Purdue plus 10. Was that regular VIG?
Just regular, minus 110.
Minus 110. We are in business. Shout out to Ricky Levine, also celebrating his birthday this weekend, as is BJ, and then Gerald Jones next week. Shout out to Ricky. Saints. I'm so big on the Saints. Took a lot of heat for it last night, but I'm big on the Saints. We roll on to the next spot on the board, Ian. We have the Boston College Eagles, 1-3, 0-2 in the ACC. At the Pittsburgh Panthers, 2-2, 0-1 in the ACC. Acrisure Stadium in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Boston College came out of their bye week and lost at home to Cal 28-24, suffering their third straight loss. Boston College was 6.5-point favorites up 14-7 after 1, 17-14 after 2, and couldn't get the job done. Just 4 of 11 on third down, were beaten up on. What was the worst part? I guess on the ground. I mean, they couldn't get Cal off the field. Boston College only had the ball for 24 minutes of that football game. So 3 straight losses for Boston College, and now they head to Pittsburgh off of 2 straight losses. They lose at West Virginia 31-24 in overtime, and then lose at home to Louisville last week 34-27 as 3.5-point dogs. Let's get into the line history here and the cash flow from a line history standpoint. We have a total very high at 58.5. It is juiced to the under. This opened up at 56.5 and has climbed 2 points to 58.5. And when we get to the point spread here for this Pittsburgh Panthers home game, we have it sitting at 6.5. They're minus 6.5 and minus 108. This opened at 6. It did get down to 5.5. That was on Sunday. It jumped up on Wednesday to 6.5. Oh, actually, sorry, it was Sunday night. It moved to 6.5, and then it just has stuck there. And then when we get to the cash flow, we don't have information on the total, but we know that 60% of the tickets and 69% of the cash is on the Pittsburgh Panthers. Take it away, Ian, my man.
Yeah, I like this over here in this game. I think there's going to be points. I trust the off. I think the offenses are the superior units with both of these teams. I like Eli Holstein, fast-paced, up-tempo offense once again for Pitt this year under Cade Bell, second-year offensive coordinator. And Bill O'Brien's team has not looked great on defense. You mentioned it about the Cal game last week. Struggled on defense again, couldn't get a stop with the game on the line. They've now given up 42, 30, and 28 in the last 3 games. I think they're going to have some struggles here on the defensive side of the football. Meanwhile, I think Pitt, you look at their offense, which that wasn't the issue against Louisville, but some mistakes, and obviously defense faltering down the stretch cost them against Louisville when they had such a big lead early in that game. So I think both teams have really shown some leakiness, have really shown some vulnerabilities, as far as on the offensive side of the football goes. And what I like about both of these teams, too, from what we've seen this year, is they are both struggling to run the football, and they are both throwing the football a hell of a lot more than running it. And that's good news when you're betting it over. More passing means more plays run, less time off the clock. So, yes, I like this game over the total here, BC and Pitt. We've got it at, let me just bring up what we've got. We got over 57.5 minus 115.
Over 57.5 at minus 115. My guy Chang Kim in the house says, what do you guys think of Rams for Survivor? I mean, I don't dislike it at all. It feels like you're, picking on a wounded animal with the 49ers. I don't dislike it at all. I did decide to go with the Lions, but and I've completely gone past the don't bet road teams in Survivor, and I won it 2 years ago here at Pub. So but I think it's a good spot. I think it's probably a great spot. We got Robert Cherry. I'm going to copy and paste Robert Cherry's action. Thank you for sharing that with us, Robert, my man. We move on to Annapolis, Maryland, 12 p.m. Eastern. Air Force Falcons at the Navy Midshipman. And we've had a big move towards the Midshipman. Both teams played last week. Air Force suffered their 3rd straight loss. They lose 44-35 at home. That came on the heels of losing 49-37 at home to Boise State. Navy is rolling. Beat Tulsa at Tulsa 42-23 before, and then had the bye week. And then they came out and beat Rice 21-13. They were 14.5-point favorites. They were up 14-0 at the half and didn't seem to put their foot on the throat of the opponent. When we get to the line history, as I said, this has opened up at 9.5, and now we have a 12. So a real serious 2.5-point move towards Navy. Let's get the total up here as well, and then hand it over to Bobano. Total-wise, we have sorry, I just blew past it. We have a 51.5. Wow. Very high total here. This opened up at 50.5 and it dropped all the way to 48.5. A real big move to the under before heavy buyback takes it up over a point from the opening line, 50.5 to 51.5. Cash flow, 65% of the tickets on Navy and 94% of the cash. 82% of tickets on the under and 67% of the cash on the under. And while we're talking about Navy football, we can shout out our very own Eli Zertucci, a proud member of the Navy, at home right now. He was, on his ship for a long time and came home to welcome Koa, his son, into his life. Baby boy, his first boy. Shout out to Eli Zertucci and the Zertucci family. And thank you, Eli, for your service. Ian Cameron, take it away. Air Force, Navy.
Yeah, this is the scared money doesn't make money bet for me on this slate of games that I've given you for college football. I know Air Force and Navy. It's 2 triple option, 2 service academies, and usually we always bet unders in these situations. We do. And, it's been under series history. I get all that. Last 4 or 5 have gone under, going back 20 years, strong to the under. There have been some overs, though, a few in those last 20 years when these teams meet. I just think that because of the fact that it's been such an under series history, you got triple option offenses both sides, this total is much lower than I think it could be, and I think it should be. Air Force's defense, I can't stress this enough, it is horrendous. It is absolutely horrific this year. I mean, that was a banged-up Micah Alejado and Hawaii rolling in there last week and doing really whatever they wanted offensively against Air Force, giving up 44 points to Hawaii, 49 to Boise, 49 to Utah State. They look slow. They look like the run defense is getting gashed. The secondary's been even worse. I don't know how Navy doesn't score at will and on most drives here in this game. That being said, I like Air Force's offense. They can't complain about the offense. What I like about the offense is, they had both quarterbacks playing early in the year. They've kind of ended up deciding to go with Liam Zarka. I think he probably is the better quarterback to run this triple option. And since he's been the quarterback, they've been able to get into the 30s. I get it. You're not going to get pace. It's going to be a lot of running. What you always get in these service academy matchups. But boy, 51.5 should, just to me, when I look at that, and this is definitely one of these you're betting numbers type of bets. To me, 51.5 is just too low right now. A total for an Air Force game with how in shambles the defense is right now. So I will take over 51 minus 112.
Over 51 minus 112. And you agree with this heavy move towards the midshipmen?
They could score on every possession. So unless Air Force is going to force turnovers or be able to keep up on the scoreboard offensively, that's why I didn't. That's why I lean Navy. Is I could see them scoring on every possession. That's how bad the Air Force defense has been. But I don't like laying doubles in these service academy games. Rivalry situations.
Absolutely. We roll on over 51 minus 112 for Ian Cameron. We move on 3:30 p.m. Eastern. The Vanderbilt Commodores 5-0, 1-0 in the SEC and climbing the ranks at the number 10 Alabama Crimson Tide 3-1, 1-0 in SEC. We're in Tuscaloosa, Alabama for this one. Let's get into this line history. We'll start with this total. Opened up at 56.5, now at 55. Did get up to 57.5 though, before it dropped down to 55. On the point spread here, so I quickly move over here to the point spread. We have Alabama minus 10.5. This opened at 13. This opened Saturday at 13, and it was just constantly moving to Vandy until it got down to a 9.5. That was all on Saturday. I guess not. Sunday morning was the final move to 9.5. I guess 9.5 for Sunday morning. Now we've had some buyback. The buyback got it back up to 11. Now sitting at 10.5. A 2.5 point move towards the Commodores. When we get to the cash flow, 63% of the tickets and 80% of the cash on Bama. 68% of tickets on the over, 77% cash on the under. Talk Sports with JT on Alabama minus 11. Take it away for us, Ian. A big one in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, this one's interesting because I get it. This is the revenge spot of revenge spots for Alabama. They're clearly going to remember going into Nashville and losing to Vanderbilt last year, 40-35, 23-point favorite Alabama, losing that game outright. Certainly have this game circled. They are coming off the big Georgia game, though, physical game, and so you're going to give me Vanderbilt when they're catching points like this. It's just difficult to resist it. It just is. I mean, he's been what I think I've got it at 7-1 against the spread for Vanderbilt as a dog of a touchdown or more since Diego Pavia has been the quarterback here. Like, they've just been a meal ticket. They've been a money-making machine as a touchdown or greater underdog since he's been here at Vanderbilt. And, you know, and I like what I've seen from Vanderbilt. Now, their defense was a little bit shaky against Utah State, but it might have been a product of, you know, they played Georgia State. They beat the hell out of them, a Georgia State team that beat them last year. They kind of fell asleep with a big lead, but this offense is certainly putting up points, looks confident. Diego Pavia, I think, is throwing the ball as good as I've ever seen him throw the football. And obviously they got the run game as well that they can throw at you too. It's a lot of points here. And I know Alabama's going to want redemption. I get it completely. They'd be fine with redemption just winning this game, in my opinion, though. That's the thing where I'm at with it. So I will take it plus 11.5, minus 115, Vandy in this one. And I think, you know, I don't expect, obviously, 40-35 again between these two teams. But, you know, I think Vanderbilt offensively is really, really, it looks like they're even in another gear this year. And Alabama, I think, could have some success with Ty Simpson. I still worry a little bit about the Vandy secondary. That could be an area that Ty Simpson in the passing game exploits. So I will take over 55 minus 112 as well in this game.
Over 55 at minus 112.
It's risky, I get it. But how many times on this show and just in general in my own betting have I taken Vanderbilt as a dog and won? It's happened so many times. So I get it. Bama maybe rolls, but Vandy's been too good as a dog for me to pass up double digits on them.
We have Mark Stasowski in the house. Ronnie Crawford says huge revenge. Bama rolls. We have MLB spreadsheet play of the day as well. And we have Matty Ice, star of the taint, play of the day. We will discuss that emotional spot here for Montgomery. Sister will be watching in live, will be attending for the first time since she was paralyzed. So he's taking Detroit money line and the Montgomery anytime touchdown. I mean, you can just already see him running towards.
I think that's another thing too that helps the over too, is what a couple people in the chat say. If Alabama's up, you know, in the game, they may punch in that extra touchdown. They may punch in that extra score based on what happened last year.
That is true. That is absolutely true. They're going to want to put their foot down on the throat of the Commodores. We roll on. Next up for us, 3:30 p.m. Eastern, the Boise State Broncos, 3-1, heading to Notre Dame, Indiana, facing the number 21 ranked Notre Dame Fighting Irish here. We've had a big move towards the Irish, who've now won back-to-back games, putting up 56 points at home. Well, I mean, putting up points is all they've been doing now, 3 straight games of that. They put up 40 at home versus A&M. They put up 56 at home versus Purdue. And then last week they put up 56 at Arkansas, 56-13. Boise State also with a 3-game winning streak, but Eastern Washington, Air Force, and App State is a bit of a different group of teams than who Notre Dame has been taking on. But they sure destroyed App State. 47-14, just annihilated them. They were 17.5-point favorites, so they took care of business. Let's get into the line history. As I said, there's been a big move towards Notre Dame. It didn't happen immediately. When the line came out at 17.5, it moved to 17. It moved towards Boise State. No longer. We're all the way up to 20.5. 20.5. Let's get to the total here to set up for Ian. Just take 1 second to move over to the line movement on this total. So for the total, we have 62.5, and Bobano just been eating off of these Notre Dame overs. 62.5 opened up at 63.5, though. The market knows the offensive ability and weak defense of the Irish. 70% of the tickets, 95% of the cash on Notre Dame, 66% of tickets on the over, 56% cash on the over. Here we go, Ian. Take it away. Broncos, Irish.
Yeah, shocker. Another over for me in a Notre Dame game. Yes, that's where we're headed. If this hits 21, and I don't know if it will, but, you know, it's up to 20.5 now in some spots. You know, I might be tempted to take Boise, you know, if it gets a little bit higher. But I don't know. I mean, I think they're going to have their hands full, Boise's defense, with C.J. Carr, Jeremiah Love, Jadarian Price, and this offense, because they look spectacular right now. Now, it was against a lousy, pathetic Arkansas defense, which hasn't been any good. They put 56 against Purdue as well. They're humming. There's great the receivers now. They're starting to step up as well, make some plays, and there was some question marks about how good the receiving core was. Just think this is going to be very, very difficult, very, very challenging here for Boise to get stops on the defensive side of the football, especially when you factor in, Jimmy, that against better offenses, they gave up 34 to South Florida. They gave up 37 to Air Force, just a couple weeks ago. Yeah, that's not what you want to see when you're playing Notre Dame, obviously, here on the road. So I think Notre Dame gets their points, but I think Boise can move the football here. I'm not there yet with saying Notre Dame's defense is back on track because they held Arkansas to 13 points. That it was better, and did have some injuries. They're getting a little bit healthier, but I'm going to need to see another week of really good Notre Dame defense before I start to think they've turned the corner. Maddox Madsen in the offense. Maddox Madsen struggled early in the year. I think he's getting better. He was awesome last week against App State. Sayer Gaines and Malik Sherrod, Dylan Riley, that trio at running back, think can maybe do some damage on the ground. There's been some issues at times with Notre Dame against the run this year. So, like I said, I think Boise can chip in enough to this to the scoring here to help this game get over. So, yeah, for me, it'll be over 62, minus 120.
Over 62 at minus 120 for Ian Cameron. Takes us to Atlanta, Georgia, home of our very own Justin McKelvey. James Madison Dukes 3-1, 1-0 in the Sun Belt at the Georgia State Panthers, coming off their bye week and opening up their Sun Belt account at Center Park Stadium. Let's get right into the situation. Georgia State just got absolutely pummeled at Vandy, 70-21. It has been a long 2 weeks. Now they face James Madison, who just took out Georgia Southern at home 35-10 on a 2-game winning streak. Let's get into the line history. This total opened up at 54. It is now 53.5, a very slight move towards the under. We get into the point spread move and the cash flow. Point spread here. We have this one. Oh, sorry, it's right up here. How am I missing it? All right, there we go. We have it opening up at 19.5. Now it's minus 20. James Madison, it moved immediately to 20, then to 20.5. In the first 20 minutes, the line was available. But then there was buyback down to 19. Overall, it's just a half-point move towards the Dukes. And when we get into the cash flow, we have no information on the total, but we know that the public is hitting James Madison hard. 87% of the tickets, 89% of the cash. Can Georgia State fix their defense at all off of a bye week here? Take it away, Ian.
I don't believe they can. It's really that bad. And again, last week we mentioned James Madison laying the points on the show against Georgia Southern. And the big reason for that is because of the fact that they could run the football right down Georgia Southern's throat. And that's exactly what they did. Georgia Southern would be powerless to stop it. I think we got the same thing here. Georgia State has got one of the worst run defenses in all of college football. They are 132 in the country, rushing yards per game allowed. 130 in the country, 5.6 yards per carry allowed. And James Madison is in an extreme run-heavy offense. They're 8th in rush attempts, 103rd in pass attempts. They want to run the football. They are a heavy run team. So this is an easy team for me to handicap. When I think James Madison can run the football with success at will and do it successfully, I think they will. And I think that's what's going to happen here. Georgia State's run defense is just awful. And then you flip it around. We know James Madison's got a really good defense. Georgia State on the offensive side of the football has had, let's say, inconsistencies with their quarterbacks, especially TJ Finley. He's had some decent games, but it's been up and down. The James Madison's Dukes are very strong in the trenches. Yeah, mild concern. It's a bye week for Georgia State. That's usually a decent spot. I just don't think the matchup's any good for them. And their run defense is horrible, and it plays right into what James Madison's awesome at. So, we laid a big number against a weak Georgia school last week with JMU. We're doing it again. So JMU minus 19.5, minus 110.
Minus 19.5 or minus 110. Yeah, you're over, and you're expecting James Madison to destroy. Was beautifully done. Also got
And
me
by the
on.
way, last 2 years, head-to-head in this series, James Madison 42-14 2 years ago. James Madison 38-7 last year. So they've destroyed Georgia State 2 years in a row. I don't think anything changes, quite honestly. I know it's a buy it, but when you're a bad run defense, you're a bad run defense. And it's just really bad matchup-wise here for the Panthers, in my opinion.
Justin McKelvey backing his Panthers off of the bye week at plus 20.5. Also, first half money line at plus 410. 410 there. You had a similar breakdown as to that got me on the Florida Atlantic team total over 23.5, which cashed very easily. We move on, Ian, 3:30 p.m. Eastern, the 24 ranked Virginia Cavaliers at the Louisville Cardinals. We're in Louisville, Kentucky, right across from the Twin Spires, Churchill Downs. We have Virginia getting us paid last week, 46-38 at home versus Florida State. It was as fun a football game as you could ever watch, especially if you had Virginia. I didn't have a money line, but did have them on the spread. Louisville coming off that victory over Pitt. They have looked very good thus far this year. Obviously, when you watch the students, rush onto the field, the first thought is, well, it's probably a letdown spot next week. Is it a letdown spot this week here? They open up, Louisville opening up at 6. It quickly moved to 7. Then there's buyback to 6.5. Still a half-point move toward the mighty Cardinal. Let's get to the total here for this one. We have 3:30 p.m. start. This total is a 61, which is right where it opened. It did climb up to 62.5 in the first 24 hours this line was available. We're back to 61. We're back from where we started. Nate Cerna says this feels like an over. Talk Sports with JT going back to the Cavalier wagon. Cash flow-wise here for this one, 61% of tickets, 58% of cash on Virginia, 67% of tickets, and 77% cash on the under. Ian Cameron, take it away.
I really badly want to take Virginia, even though it's a potential. It is like it's the mother of all letdown spots. And we know what happened last week. They stormed the field. They beat Florida State on a Friday night at home. And this is always the type of spot you're worried about backing a team in. But I think it's too many points. I think there's a competitive game. I love this Chandler Morris-led Virginia offense. They're moving the football. I think they can move the ball against Louisville. Like I said, Louisville finally faced a little bit of a potent offense last week in Pitt. And I know they won the game, but they didn't play great on defense. And you could argue Virginia's offense is every bit as good, if not better, with what we've seen this year. So I kind of want to take Virginia here. But I'm on the fence with that. I do worry about coming off the big win against Florida State. You could argue Louisville's in a bit of a hangover spot, too. That was an amazing comeback against Pitt. They were down 17-0 in that game. They came all the way back. They won 34-27. Of course, Miller Moss, the USC transfer at quarterback for Jeff Brom in Louisville this year. He's been a slow start to the year, but I think he's getting better. So lean Virginia, kind of on the fence with that, but absolutely. Nathan Cerna said it. I think the over is the best way to go here. I think points. Virginia is one of these teams, again, like Notre Dame. Every one of their games has gone over the total so far. So until we see the totals catch up, we see one of these games go under involving a team like Notre Dame and a team like Virginia, we're going to keep betting it. So over 61, minus 110.
Over 61 at minus 110, which takes us to Lincoln, Nebraska, home of the Nebraska Cornhuskers, 3-1, 0-1 in the Big Ten. Same record as the Michigan State Spartans here, 3-1, 0-1 in the Big Ten. Both teams coming off bye weeks, both teams coming off of losses. The 45-31 loss at USC for Michigan State stung, but they were 18.5-point dogs, so they covered, and they were in the football game, and it doesn't hurt too much. The Cornhuskers faced their first loss of the season at home versus Michigan. The Cornhuskers were 1.5-point dogs. That one hurt. They tried to come back, but long touchdown runs by the Wolverines put that one to bed. Let's take a look at the line history here for this one. First off, this total has dropped, opened up at 53. Now we have a 49.
I will explain that in a minute, why that is.
I look forward to it. So a 4-point drop on the total. And then when we get to the point spread here, We have, move over here, 4 p.m. pop off. We have Nebraska minus 11.5. They opened up minus 11.5. The immediate move was towards the Spartans, and then it's come back to the opening line. We have Talk Sports with JT says Nebraska's terrible, leaning Michigan State. Cash flow wise, we have 80% of tickets, 71% of the cash on Michigan State. So we have a public double-digit dog. 83% of the road dog, 83% of the tickets on the under, 91% of cash on the under. Ian, take it away.
Yes, I'm on Michigan State here, plus 12.5, minus 110. I love the spot. They're off a bye week, obviously, and Jonathan Smith is a coach that I trust. And like I said, I think you're seeing slowly them getting better and better. I like their effort. That was a late night West Coast game, Saturday against USC 2 weeks ago, and I thought Aiden Childs on the offense looked pretty good. Defense struggled, but USC's got a really good offense. And now against a Nebraska offense that I think's been decent sometimes, not so good others. I think this is just a few too many points for a team. Now, Nebraska's off a bye too, so both teams have the extra time to prepare. But Jonathan Smith's one of those coaches I trust. You're starting to see them get a little bit better. And the biggest thing I think that helps Michigan State, and it's also why this game has seen a heavy move to the under, wind. And not just a little bit, a lot. 22, 23 mile per hour winds expected in Lincoln, Nebraska for this game. And that is why this total has plummeted the way it has. Heavy wind expected. The question is, who does it impact more? And when you look at it, I think Michigan State's secondary has been the far worst part of their defense. Their defense hasn't been great. It's really the secondary that's been bad. So if the wind is going to be whipping up there and it's going to negate the passing game a little bit, Nebraska may not be able to exploit that secondary nearly as much here in this game. So I think that helps Michigan State. And with the wind in play, it might be difficult for both teams. Obviously, for both teams, it'll be more difficult to move the ball through the air. That also, to me, increases the chances we see a closer and competitive game here. So, yeah, I'm on Michigan State here, plus 12.5, minus 110. Again, the reason for the under move is just extremely heavy wind expected. We're talking 23 mile per hour winds for this game.
Great breakdown here from Ian Cameron, star of the Hitting the Books YouTube channel. 2 games left. Next one, 6 p.m. Eastern. Coastal Carolina, Chanticleers, 2-2, 1-0 in the Sun Belt against ODU, 3-1, but opening up their Sun Belt account. We have the...
I love how Jimmy always says they're opening up their Pac-12 account, their Big 12 account, their Big 10 account.
We know conference play is important. Yeah. It trumps.
Old Dominion taking the field, opening up their account. I love it.
We have Coastal Carolina coming off their bye week, 38-20 victory over South Alabama Jaguars. They were 14.5-point dogs, and they went in there and won the game outright. Won the game by 18 points. Outscored the Jaguars 17-3 in the fourth quarter on foreign soil. It was very, very impressive. Then they have the bye week. What do we see coming out of the bye week? Old Dominion coming off the 21-7 victory at home over Liberty last week. They were 14.5-point favorites, so they didn't cover by the hook. Let's get the line history up here for this one. This is popping off at 6 p.m. We have minus 21 at even money for ODU. This opened up at 17.5, and the first move was towards Coastal Carolina, and then heavy move towards ODU. We now have a 21, a 3.5-point move towards the Monarchs. Let's get the total up here as well. And then here, Bobano's plan of attack. We have this total right now sitting at 54.5. Opened up at 54, went up to 55, dropped down to 54.5. And when we get to the cash flow, we only have side and ODU being hammered. 85% of the tickets, 92% of the cash. Ian Cameron, take it away.
One of the most fraudulent, ridiculous results you'll ever see this season was Coastal's win against South Alabama 2 weeks ago before the bye week, 38-20. Don't read anything into it. This is still a bad football team. Still didn't gain 300 total yards. Tad Hudson, the quarterback, still completed barely 100 passing yards, 13 for 25. They still couldn't run the football effectively. Why did they lose 38-20? There was a fumble recovery touchdown for Coastal. There's a fumble recovery for Coastal in that game. There were -3 in the turnover margin with South Alabama in that game against Coastal Carolina. Coastal Carolina was awful before that game, and that game might make it look like they're back on track. They are not, in my opinion. It was just South Alabama shooting themselves in the foot and mistakes that really allowed Coastal to win that football game. They got dominated in time of possession. Like first downs were 21-15 South Alabama. That should be, if anything, 38-20 South Alabama in that game. Not the other, but again, all the mistakes, the turnovers, it was just one of those days for South Alabama. They couldn't get out of their own way. And it's actually a situation where I know Coastal's off the bye week, extra time to prepare. I actually think it's a bad thing. You finally win a game, albeit probably didn't deserve it to that level. You feasted on turnovers, but now you have a bye week to sit on it. I don't think you want to play again now that you finally got a little momentum. Old Dominion, I think, is absolutely going to destroy this team. I love Old Dominion this year. Their quarterback, Colton Joseph, I think the defense has improved significantly. They've lost to Coastal 2 years in a row. They'd love nothing more, I think, than to hand them a little piece of redemption here. And I think they will, and I think they'll do it by margin. This has the makings to me more of what we saw at a Coastal before that South Alabama. As long as, again, unless Old Dominion's going to turn it over 3-4 times like South Alabama did, I'll be in trouble if that happens. But I think this looks more like the 38-0 loss that Coastal Carolina suffered against East Carolina a few weeks ago. So Old Dominion for me, I'm laying the points, laying the wood, -1, -20, -110.
-20, -110 for the Monarchs in Norfolk, Virginia. Final spot on the board here. Best bets in college football from Ian Cameron started the Hitting the Books YouTube channel. Duke Blue Devils 3-2, 2-0 in the ACC. At the California Golden Bears 4-1, 1-0 in the ACC. We are in Berkeley for this one. We have Duke coming in off of a 38-3 destruction at Syracuse. Just domination. We also have Cal off of 2 road games as well. The Duke were 3.5-point favorites. That's it. 3.5-point favorites, and they absolutely annihilated the Orange. California off of 2 straight road games. First one was a debacle, 34-0 loss at San Diego State. And then last week they go to Boston College and take them out. 6.5-point dogs. They win 28-24. Line history-wise, this total opened up at 56 and is now at 55.5. Just a half-point drop. We all need 10:30 p.m. Saturday night action, Ian. We all need it. I was happy that you added it to your schedule here. It is my birthday night. I'm going to be at the casino, and I want action here. Duke opening up at -3, dropped to 2.5, and then got right back to 3. And all of this happened on Saturday when the line was first available. Now we have it back at 2.5. It is heavily juiced to Duke right now at -118. And when we get to the cash flow for Duke Cal, we don't have information on the total, but we know Cal is public. 77% of the tickets, 89% of the cash. Ian Cameron, take it away.
Yeah, Cal's been one of these sweet spots for me with when they have these late night home games and they face a team, from the Eastern time zone that's playing a late night game out on the West Coast. And I think they could take advantage of that here. Duke, look, they've righted the ship after those 2 losses to Illinois and Tulane, beating NC State and Syracuse back-to-back weeks. I mean, the offense with Darian Mensah has certainly looked solid. But we have to remember last week against Syracuse, Ricky Collins wasn't good. Backup quarterback with Steve Angeli out for the season, and Syracuse offense just didn't look the same. I think they kind of took advantage of that. There's 2 road games in a row now for them. Like I said, they got to play late night on a Saturday all the way out on the West Coast. I think it's a tricky scheduling and situational spot for Duke. Cal this year at home, we saw them play Minnesota in a very similar spot as this. Minnesota, a late night game on a Saturday, and Cal took care of business 27-14 in that game. I like their freshman quarterback, Jaron Kiave Sagapolotele, at quarterback for Cal. He's been solid. He led them to a game-winning drive against Boston College last week. that should give them confidence. There was an anomaly there where they got shut out on the road by San Diego State. But other than that, their offenses look good. They've moved the ball. They've been good in this underdog spot, especially home dog spot over the years under Justin Wilcox, the head coach. So, yeah, I like Cal here, +3, -106.
Cal +3 at -106. Bobano's also on ODU -20. Michigan State +12.5. The over 61 in Virginia, Louisville. James Madison Dukes at -19 and a half. The over 62 in Boise State, Notre Dame. Vandy +11.5 and the over 55 in Vandy, Bama. The over 51 in Air Force, Navy. The over 57.5 in Boston College, Pittsburgh. The over 55.5 in Illinois, Purdue, and Purdue +10. Cincinnati team total over 27.5 and the over 54.5 in Iowa State, Cincinnati. Incredible work, Ian, my man. Thank you so much for rocking with us. We have the NBA OG show on the way, but first up, we have the Ice Guys back in business. So tell us about the Ice Guys, and of course, tell us about the Hitting the Books YouTube channel where you star alongside Connor Mack.
So Hitting the Books, Mondays, college football, Hitting the Books show, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, breaking down the week ahead in college football. And we now have a Friday live show for members only of our YouTube channel for Connor Mack and yours truly. So that's Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern. If you're a member of the channel, you'll get that video exclusively on the Hitting the Books YouTube channel. And then the Ice Guys. Yes, we are back, obviously 7 days a week next week. Tuesday, October 7th, 2 p.m. Eastern will be the season premiere edition. But we are back with a couple of live shows tomorrow and Monday, conference season preview shows. We're going to do the Eastern Conference season preview show tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern live, me and Alex P. Smith, and then Monday, 2 p.m. Eastern, the Western Conference season preview show. And then Tuesday and onward, 7 days a week, weekdays 2 p.m. Eastern, weekends noon Eastern. We're back again on the Ice Guys. Can't wait. Can't wait for the NHL season. It's just days away. Looking forward to it. Jimmy, thanks again as always. Good luck to you. Good luck to everyone in the chat. We'll see you next time.
There he is, Mr. Ian Cameron in the house. Great work by Bobano. I loved that hammer college football spot that Ian just did, but all of our thoughts are on the diamond today, where they belong. Wild card game 3 action. Let's bring on our producer, backbone here of Pub Sports Radio. Please welcome Mr. Jose Snips Bouquett to the show. Jose, how are you?
Just back into the crucible again we go. This is what dreams are made of, right? Here we go.
You let that one slip through your sweaty hands last night, Jose. I had the Yankees on the ropes. I really want to talk about that game with you, but how long do we have you right now for?
I'm already over 5 minutes, so,
okay, so
not much time.
We have Spooner joining us here shortly.
Yes.
What do you want to do to take advantage of the time that you have available?
Let's just jump into Red Sox Yankees, and because I obviously have a bet in that game quickly, but let's jump into it.
Let's jump into Red Sox Yankees. We have Spooner joining us, and we'll go through all the 3 games in order. Then Rod Swacky says, so if Boston loses, Jose gets a mohawk. I didn't know. Is that part of the?
No.
Okay. I was curious to see if that was part of the action. We have Morgan Spooner joining us as well, star of Walk-Off Wagers here on Pub Sports Radio as well, one of the stars of the Sauce Network. Let's get Spooner here for this one. Spooner, my man, we're going to go in reverse order. We're going to start with the Red Sox Yankees. But first off, thank you so much for joining us. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well. Really enjoying this playoff baseball action so far. Been some really good games, good pitching.
Oh, I don't know if there's anything better. I mean, game sevens, in NHL and NBA, I guess, but wild card week, just having it just one after another and having the rivalries that we're getting to watch. is just magic. It's been so good. Oldie in the house. We got Chappie, Funk, Rod Zwacky, Vom Polo. Let's roll. Boston Red Sox, New York Yankees. Spooner, first thing I'll ask you, do you ever remember a game of this magnitude with pitchers this young pitching?
Not a game deciding. No. I mean, simple answer. I mean, these are two rookies, guys that were started the season, double AAA, and both of these teams are putting their faith in them to end the season.
I can't imagine the situation. I can't imagine what's going through like Conley Early's head, and then having Cam Schlittler as the old vet out there. Let's get into the situation here. And Jose, I know you got to run, so we'll start with you, and then you can bounce, and then Spooner and I will take it from there.
I'm already so anxious. I don't want to wait for this game. I can't sit down and break this game down. This is
Have you been doing this since last night?
Basically, I've been tossing and turning. A lot of anxiety over here in the Bouquett household.
As it should be. This is perfect. As all Blue Jay fans wanted this series to go 3 games, and that's what we got. 60 Fahrenheit, feels like 58, 4.3 miles per hour, right to left across the diamond, dies down to 4 miles per hour. When we get to a ballpark pal here, get a sentiment of how they see the temperatures. It negatively affects, if you want to fade the kids in this enormously important situation, the weather does not help. It is minus 13% home runs, minus 19% doubles and triples, minus 1% singles, minus 14% runs. It is not offensive weather whatsoever. Let's get into the line history and the cash flow here. Jose, why don't you hit the cash flow, because I still have college football up, and we don't want to. I don't want to pause or wait. We have the Yankees at minus 151. They opened up at minus 155, and at 9:49 this morning they were minus 167. That has come back to minus 151. So we have a slight move towards the Boston Red Sox. From a total standpoint, we have a 7.5 at minus 118. This opened up at 8, but it was minus 125 to the under. I mean, it's, so we do have a legit move because it's now minus 118 to the under 7.5. So we have Conley Early, the youngster, the 23-year-old. Last start, 2-1 loss at home versus the Tigers. He looked great. 5 innings for it, 2 earned runs, 7 Ks, 1 walk. He's throwing 19 in the third big league innings. He struck out 29 batters in those 19 and third. He's only walked 4, and he has yet to allow a home run in Major League Baseball. On the road, he had 2 starts, and he looked strong there. Now, he only went 9 innings, and that's something that we can expect here, not to go a long way. But his splits are very good. Righties actually get to him a bit, 259, but with no power to speak of, 576 OPS. Going up against Schlittler, 4-3, 2.96 ERA, 1.22 WHIP. He's looked excellent. 6-1 win at home versus the Orioles last out. 9 strikeouts, 1 walk, went 7 strong. At home, he's looked very good. 47 strikeouts and 40 in a third. He's only allowed 36 hits, 242 opponents batting average, and his splits are very good. Gets lefties out, he gets righties out. Doesn't look vulnerable from either side. Brian Smith looking at the Sox here. We do looking at the Red Sox here. Jake Burns on the Red Sox. Mark A says one more time, Yankees first 5 minus a half. Oh, sorry, we do's on Yankees -1. Yankees minus 151. We have Red Sox first righties last 30 days. They're hitting them hard. 271, 748 OPS. Same can be said about the Yankees. 257, 759 OPS. The clear advantage is in the bullpen. Red Sox bullpen has been much better than the Yankees bullpen of late. Here we go, Mr. Bouquett. Red Sox, Yankees, season on the line.
Yeah, it's a very annoying game last night, as you mentioned. The Red Sox gave it to the Yankees there. I'm glad that Jaron Duran could throw Spoons a bone last night. All was watched on the Discord. If you guys were there, it was a great time.
It was fun.
Yeah, it was a great time, and a lot of nervous anxiety is going to be into that stream here tonight. So I hope you guys do tune in, because it's going to be a shit show. It's going to be a shit show in my end over here. So I wish everyone luck on that end. But This game is fascinating. We have Adolf Schittler going against Connolly Early, like you mentioned, is a very, very, very young pitching matchup for this game. Not what anyone expected here. And it's not like I can really put faith in either one of them. But I am, as always, Jimmy, lifting my arms up and letting the market gods guide me to the money. Show me the ivory towers. Show me the money. And right now, as of now, like you mentioned, there's 58% of the bets and 58% of the bets on the Yankees, I should say. 63% of the money on the Boston Red Stockings. I like the line movement. A little worrisome that at one point this morning it was minus 167, but it makes the move back to minus 151 feel better for me. So I, of course, am on the Boston Red Sox full game money line. I bet it like 10 minutes ago, officially here, plus 138. I believe in my guy Connolly, 5 strong innings. Then we roll out the bullpen again, and we'll see how it all unfolds, because Cora made one bad decision last night, and that was keeping Whitlock out there too long and burned him for today. But I'll trust my guy Alex Cora every day of the week, and I'll trust him again here today.
It's because you didn't want totally out there. I guess I was trying to figure out why we just didn't want to go deeper into the pen.
Yeah, it totally has one pitch.
Yeah,
it's scary. He's got one pitch, and if he can't throw the fastball by you, it's ugly stuff.
If it's not located perfectly, yeah. What line did you get on the Red Sox?
Plus 138.
Plus 138 on the Boston Red Sox. Join us this very evening, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. We'll have cappers focusing on both Yankees, Red Sox, as well as 49ers, Rams, right here on Pub Sports Radio, hosted by Jose Snips Bouquett. And it's fun watching you deal with the emotions. And I put on the lucky Red Sox hat for you.
Solidarity. Yeah, things would have been a little icy if you would have shown up in that shitty piece of shit black Yankees jersey. Things would have been a little icy.
I pulled it out and I thought, no, don't.
I would have been nonplussed.
Now I'm telling you, I think that the Jays would rather play the Yankees, and I say that for a couple different reasons, but they're easier. You can pitch around players with the Yankees, but their bullpen is a problem and will only be exasperated by a longer series.
Yep.
And so, but there's no, I mean, what would the line be if this was in Boston?
Probably minus 130 Yankees would be my guess.
This is going to be extremely enjoyable. Jose Bouquett, good luck, my friend. Jose is off. He wanted to make sure he was here for the Red Sox, Yankees. And thank you for your breakdown. Good luck tonight. I will be watching from afar, and I'll be in the chat. And I might be able to jump on, possibly. I'll figure that out at some point. But I will be a part of the chat for sure. Boston Red Sox plus 138 for Jose Bouquett. Jose, any last words for the Cappers supporting the show?
Yeah, I will pre-apologize for any negative things I say about any human being tomorrow. I am sorry in advance. If you are on the Yankees and you join our stream, I will have negative things to say about you. And I want to apologize, because once the 9 innings are done, I will hold that grudge for another 2 weeks. And then after that, maybe I will get over it. But I just want to let you guys know that I am sorry in advance if I say some out-of-pocket things, uncharacteristic things. If I motherfuck someone's mother, then that's on me. That's on me. That's on me.
Okay.
It's on me.
All right.
But good luck to everyone except to the Yankees bettors. Fuck the Yankees.
There he is. There he is, Spooner. Stressful night for young Snips Bouquett. Can't stop. AC says, let's go Yankees. Spooner, your plan of attack, and talk to us about how deep do you think Connolly Early will be in starting, and are you moving on Red Sox Yankees, my friend?
I am moving on the Yankees, actually. I'm going to do the first 5 minus a half, just like I did yesterday. I got it at minus 103. Looking at this game, how deep do I think Connolly Early is going to be in? Kind of look to the books to answer that, and they have the line for his outs set at 9.5, and it's juiced to the under. So I think 3 innings is probably a pretty safe guess. He's going to have a quick hook. The first sign of danger. I wouldn't be surprised to see them go to the bullpen. Boston used 6 guys from their bullpen yesterday. Garrett Willock threw 47 pitches. I don't expect him out there. Justin Wilson also threw 23. He's probably available, but the Yankees saw every arm they're going to see yesterday. So I like their ability to come back and get a win here today. I didn't want to lay minus 160 juice. I think this could probably come down to be a tight game, so I didn't really want to lay the minus 1 either, but I think Connolly Early gets hit by this Yankees team for about the first time in his major league career. This lineup is deep to go through. Righties, lefties, both hands. Ben Rice looked electric in that lineup yesterday. I think they're going to get runs on the board here pretty early. And I like Cam Schlittler. I think he sets up to pitch really well against this Boston lineup. We've said it for a while now. It's just not the same lineup that it should be here, missing their best player in the most important game of the season. I think Yankees are minus 160 for a reason. It's moved back and forth, but I mean, overall, it's just 6 cents of movement towards Boston, and they have 63% of the money.
Yeah, I get it. If you had told me that Game 3 of the wild card series against the hated Yankees, that the Red Sox will have a 5th-round pick from the 2023 draft on the Hill, I
was
was
the second best pitcher on his AA team last year.
I would be astonished. Now, he's done everything asked of him. With the 12 starts, 15 appearances in AA, 6 starts in AAA. Then he's come up to the show and he's just delivered. And when you're on a team and you talk to someone on your team, right away if they're capable of handling the bright lights, and he must be capable. Jose Bouquett says, I'm glad I left after your breakdown, Spooner. Broadswack says, bet under the total of New York Yankees games after allowing 4 runs or less 5 straight games. The unders record during the 2025 season is 20-7. I tell you what, I wanted to bet the first 3 over 2. I wanted to. It's expensive. It's not expensive to a point where, I can't. It's too expensive. It's not. I'll get the exact price here right now, but I still kind of want to. It's just the weather doesn't help at all. I mean, it's just not conducive, and so I may not move on it. What is your first thought? And let me give you the number too, because it is expensive. The first 3 over 2 is minus 143 right now, and it's expensive. But what is your first thought when I say the first 3 over 2 with Early and Schlittler?
It's a really, the runs might come the second time through the order, but I mean, it being at 2 and it being so heavily juiced really implies it's going to get there. You look at guys like Goldschmidt, just absolute veteran of the game. He's owned rookie pitchers for years, no matter who comes up there. I can see the Yankees putting up runs in the first inning. If you get 1 run there, you just have 5 half innings to get 1 more. I think that over 2 is live.
And Christopher Carter did bet it. One thing that has changed here for me in my capping is that 135 threshold is gone. It's now minus 150 threshold. And
for baseball or for everything?
For everything. Now it's come through baseball. So, but it's also I've been translating it to football as well. So it's changing, and I think it should change as obviously we track all of our action. Those aren't problem spots. And I was talking to TJ, and TJ was saying that the playoff baseball is so close. These are such tight games that he is going to be more comfortable drinking more juice. And I replied, I'm fine with pushing. I had 3 bets yesterday, Spooner. I pushed 2 of them and cashed 1 of them, and I'm comfortable with that. But I am going to open up to taking on more juice. The Yankees first 5 -0.5 at -103. This year I cut that. We talk about continually evolving as gamblers. I only was betting 1 first 5 -1/2 a week instead of a couple a day, or at least 1 a day. So I'm trying to change different things. I was with you on the Discord with Jose and Gorky and others when you cashed that first 5 -1/2. It was nice to see an error work in our favor for one time, Spooner.
Right.
For one
Especially
time.
in the 5th inning. That was the death of the under right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. We have both Jose and Spooner on the Yankees. Before we leave this graphic, you were intimating that the issue or the reason or the concern is Schlittler, or the concern is okay. I just want to touch on this first 3 over before I decide what to do with it. I don't bet first 3 overs. I bet first 5 overs. I bet first 3 unders. I don't bet first 5 unders because it's the second time through the lineup. Early's not going to get a second time through the lineup. So it takes away some of the interest in the first 5 over and makes me want to focus on the first 3. But you are saying your concern is you think Schlittler can pitch at a very elite level here tonight.
I do believe he goes 5 innings strong in this baseball game. You can take his over outs at that. I think he's 11.5 heavily juiced to the over. I wish his outs total was higher there, but I think he pitches well. I think more the reason I'm isolating it to the first 5 is David Bednar is on 3 of 4 days here. Devin Williams is on 3 of 4 days here. Luke Weaver's on 2 of 4, and Fernando Cruz is on 3 of 4. So this Yankees bullpen is as taxed as it possibly could be heading into this game.
Which affects all of them.
Win.
It affects all of those guys except David Bednar.
Yeah, we've seen him go out there both ends of a doubleheader, just save them both, no questions asked. I think he'll be available. I think Williams and Weaver and Cruz all will be available. It's the last game of their season, but how effective they can pitch is the real question there. I think that's why I'm not on the -1.
That was a great breakdown. I may join you, Christopher Carter, my man. That is a possible. I have moved on 1 bet, and we're going to get to it right now. But let's move on. That was Red Sox, Yankees. So the first 3 over 2. And you agree that is more appealing because I want to attack these 2 very young pitchers who've only had, especially Connolly early, he's only had things go his way, rather than a plan that we know Cora's got together for who's coming on after early, and the first 5 not being as appealing unless you think Schlittler's going to get touched. So I'm kind of dealing with all of that. Let's go to the game that starts in an hour and 23 minutes. The AL wildcard, Detroit Tigers at the Cleveland Guardians. The Tigers were it's hard to look at their record and talk about it as if, they're 41-40 on the road. They were so bad in the second half that it's difficult to quantify. The Guardians stepped up enormously in the second half. Now they're at home, game 3, with a bullpen advantage. The longer these series goes, the more important it is for your bullpen. TC is on the Tigers plus 110. So I have the Tigers series. And there is, in my estimation, before we get into the line history or anything, an enormous advantage for the Guardians. Enormous. And that is that this is the third straight start for Jack Flaherty against the Guardians. Look at Slade Ciccone. Where are the Tigers? You got to go back a ways. And he's pitched great against Tigers. But so we have Flaherty going up against the Guardians over and over, and Ciccone not doing it. Talk Sports with JT also on Detroit at plus 113. Let me get this copied and pasted right with TC's action. So this is my hedge of sorts. And I am on Jack Flaherty under 11.5 outs at plus 110. My expectation being if he goes over 11.5 outs, I'm very likely to win the series bet. I do. I think I'm very likely to win. I do not think I know that Hyde has a plan right now as we speak, a perfect plan. And as soon as Flaherty shows any sign of trouble, he's going to get pulled. Stacks play today, number one here as well is Carpenter. Carpenter over 1.5 bases at plus 148. And if you're on the Tigers, God, Torque, Carpenter, these guys got to step up. Shout out to our friend Justin McKelvey. Stacks play day number one. Carpenter over 1.5 bases.
Stacks, 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 stacks.
Jose has moved on the Guardians' first 5 at minus 115. So Jose has moved on. Oh shit, Hinch. Sorry, I called him Hyde. Jesus, thank you. God, what the hell's wrong with me? Hinch, Hyde, wrong with me. Hinch. I know Hinch has a plan in store for pulling Flaherty early. Flaherty's had 2 okay starts. The second one was better than the last one. Last one, 4 1/3, 5 hits, 3 runs, 1 homer, 6 Ks, no walks, and a 5-1 loss. On the road, 14 starts, 68 1/3. He allowed 69 hits, and only 8 went yard, but he allowed 40 earned runs, and opponents hit 260 against him. And we know his issue is left-handed bats. Left-handed bats get to Flaherty at a higher level than righties. And when we look at the lineup here that's confirmed, there is one righty in the lineup, Arias. It's not set up well. Wage Detective says he's a Hinch believer. Look, Hinch is a great manager and has a plan in store. But I'm on the under 11.5 outs at plus 110. Slade Ciccone's last start was that very upsetting start for me. 7-3 loss at home versus the Rangers. They had to win that game, and they lost that game. They were fortunate that the Tigers lost to the Red Sox. He allowed those 4 earned runs in the very first inning, and then he got his act together. I'm a Ciccone fan. But, he allowed 14 home runs in 12 home starts. And righties hit him harder than lefties, something that we talked about. There's nothing you can do with the Tigers lineup because you need Carpenter, you need Green, you need McKinstry, you need these left-handed bats in the lineup. Johnny Yim, my man, I am going to be playing poker while I'm down there. I am going to be playing on Friday some poker. Tigers versus righties aren't hitting them 218-64. Tigers bullpen's not been very good of late. The whole plan for me was that they were going to finally take a breath, Spooner. They're going to finally take a breath. They'd been under so much pressure, and they failed under that pressure, and they were going to take a breath because they made the playoffs, and all they had to do was beat the Guardians. This total opened up at 7 minus 120 to the over. It's now minus 125 to the over, a 5-cent move to the over. And then on the money line, we have Ciccone and the Guardians at minus 126. They opened up minus 110, 16 cents of movement, an enormous amount of movement towards the Guardians, which has to make anybody on them has to find it extremely appealing. We have 52% of the tickets on the Guardians and 53% of the cash on the Tigers. So it's got to be sharp action moving towards the Guardians. 71% of tickets on the under and 62% of cash on the under. Take it away, Spooner. I'm all ears.
Jack Flaherty here versus Cleveland. I think this is a lineup he can pitch okay to. He does struggle a little bit more with lefties than he does righties, but it's not significant splits. He's faced them, as you said, back-to-back times. We look for that zigzag effect. His first start was really good. Only gave up a few runs in his second start. I'd look for him to come back and pitch really well here. He's going to have a quick hook, like first sign of danger. Detroit's bullpen is in a really good spot right now. They have everybody available. On the other side, though, Cleveland's bullpen is not. Cade Smith, back-to-back days, Hunter Gaddis, Eric Sabrowski. These are the three best arms they rely on most. Cade Smith's got 51 pitches in the last 2 days. It's gonna be a tough ask for him out there. Ciccone, he's pitched really well down the stretch, but if we look at the teams he's facing, he's faced one playoff team in the last 14 starts. And while most of those 14 starts were good, the one start versus a playoff team, he gave up 7 earned runs, 11 hits. I think Detroit's bats come alive. I think it's really easy to get there with Cleveland. You could say Flaherty struggles with lefties, and we just have Ciccone pitch deep. We only need one of those relievers, but realistically, Siccone's not going out there for more than 4 innings today, and they better be 4 good innings if Cleveland wants a chance to win this game, because as dead as Detroit's bats have been, Cleveland is right there with them. I'm on Detroit money line plus 110.
Tigers money line at plus 110. As much as I don't think Flaherty makes it into the 5th inning, I'm not on the first 5 over or the first 3 over in this one. I think it's going to be a sweat, whether you're on the over or the on. There's a reason why this total is as low as it is with pitchers that are to some considered gas cans. What do you think of the first 5 total, and did you have interest in it?
I could only be on it under in this first 5. Just the bats of these teams alone. Detroit's been able to put a ton of runners in scoring position, and then they've just stranded them all there. Guardians got some really late runs in that game last night, but the majority of this series, it's been very hard to find runs. I could only be on this under. It's one of those things. The first pitcher pitches well, hands it off to the bullpen. They do well. You just keep passing the torch, and I think both of these guys come out there and probably try to give it their best. I could only be on a first 5 under. I don't have a ton of interest in looking to those first 5 totals, especially this time of year. But I think if you're betting totals in baseball, it can only be unders in the playoffs.
I agree. It can only be unders in the playoffs, which makes me nervous to bet that first 3 over 2 in the Red Sox-Yankees game, especially with the weather so run suppressing. But I may do it. Mr. Always Profit on the Guardians here. Wager Detective on the over. And Jermaine on the Tigers minus 1.5. San Francisco 49er on Flaherty under 4.5 Ks. Billy Friedrich says Siccone's gone 5+ innings in 6 of his last 7 starts. This is exciting. It's exciting. There's nothing better than this. And I love the Tigers Guardian series. I love it so much. I love those 2 cities. All right, let's roll. Purdy is not in. It's Mac Jones, nut flush. And he's got very few receivers to throw to. Because there's no Persol. Of course, there's no Ayuk. There's no Kittle.
We live bet the 49ers.
I will have great interest in that, yes. Especially if, they go down 7-0. I'll have great interest in it. I want to see I don't want to have an immediate opportunity to do it. I want to see the team play hard and the defense step up and fight for each other. So there's certain things I want to see. If the Rams just go down and just immediately score a touchdown, I probably bet it, but I'm certainly not. It's not going to be fun. I'm not going to be like, oh, this is great. This is what I wanted. I'd rather it be a bit of a struggle because I'm on the first half under and the full game under. So,
do you want a 14? What's your circled number? I think 10 will be very, very easy to get. I think 14.5 is kind of where I have circled for where I'd like to get on if I still feel comfortable at that point.
I think that's a tremendous script. I think it's tremendous script, but you would have to take the 14.5 after, let's say, the Rams score, the Niners don't. The Rams have the ball in their, around their 25. You bet the 14.5, and the Niners stop them.
Yeah.
Working with your script, that's the best case scenario for the script. Dougie Weiss says, I think the Rams don't cover the 9. It's not easy to cover double digits in a divisional game, especially if the team early in the season has heart and character and is trying. It's easier later in the season when the team's just sort of broken. But let's stick to MLB. We move on to our next spot on the board. 5 p.m. Eastern, Spooner's Chicago Cubs. This is wild. Trying to get into the NLDS, the Wrigley Field. And the Cappers contest is live. Again, shout out to our 3 Cappers that got to the perfect week here. So here we go. And yeah, buddy says Shannon has always had McVay's number. I love watching them battle wits. Here we go. This is such an interesting pitching matchup. Jamison Taillon has looked so good in his last 3 starts. He's looked very, very good. And Darvish has looked better. He is not really to be trusted on the road, but I do believe he is to be trusted in the most important situations. So it's a tricky game to really quantify these 2 veterans. Sports scientist Jacob in the house, great to see you. And then we also know for you, Darvish, his Achilles heel is left-handed bats. The interesting thing about this Cubs lineup right now is there's not that many of them. Bush, Happ will hit from the left-hand side, Tucker, and then PCA, who's not the PCA from the first half of the season. These right-handed bats in Horner, Suzuki, Kelly, Swanson, and Shaw have to be in the lineup. So you can't really, get Darvish against the ropes. Rod Zawak says, bet on Craig Counsell on the money line after scoring 3 runs or less, 2 straight games. Counsell's record as a manager of the Cubs, 41-15. Taillon's last start, 7-3 win at home over the Cardinals, was a thing of beauty. 8 Ks, 2 walks, and a 7-3. Also, another thing about Taillon was, especially last year, he's always to be trusted at Wrigley. Always to be trusted here. Dougie Wise says, Darvish has history of losing to the Cubs with the Dodgers. Rebenga. TJ is on the under outs. Oh, and the under full game 7.5 at -120 in Guardians Tigers. Something I would be interested in as well is the full game under. But so we do know Taillon gets hit harder by righties, 258, 773 than lefties. And there's a lot of lefties in this lineup. The more I kind of go over the stats, the more I think this sets up for Jamison Taillon. Let's take a look at the line history here and hand it over to Spooner. We have the Cubs at -108. It's hard not to recognize that the Padres have gone from +109 to -102, which means there's a lot of faith in Darvish. From a total scenario here, we have a 7.5. It's -113 to the under. Open up -115 to the under, so it's pretty stagnant. When we get to the weather, we have 7.76 Fahrenheit. Feels like 75, so it's warmer, but 7.2 miles per hour right to left and slightly in. And then when we get to the cash flow, we have 50% of the tickets on the Cubs and 57% of cash on the Padres. So this move towards the Padres is sharp. 75% of tickets on the under and 64% cash on the under. Spooner, we know you have Padres for the series because over your lifetime, you've become more of a gambler than you are a baseball fan. And I feel the same way about myself, but I can't wait to hear how you're going to handle Game 3. Take it away.
So Darvish, also very familiar with pitching well at Wrigley Field. Pitched here for a few seasons with the Cubs. I think this is a really good spot for him. He doesn't have a tired arm at this point in the season. Spent a good deal of time on the injury list healing up, so he's nice and fresh. You can say similar things about Taillon. I don't have a ton of faith in Tyone coming out here and pitching that well versus the San Diego lineup. San Diego's struggled to get runs up on the board in this first few games. It's been pretty pitcher-friendly weather, but it's a little less so today. I think he's going to struggle with the righties and lefties mixed at the top of this lineup. It's really hard to get comfortable versus one side of the plate. Town struggles more with the righties, so that's Tatis, Machado, and I mean lefties aren't far behind. So I think they find a way to get a couple runs off him. The Cubs bullpen is going to have to do a lot of work here in this game. I don't expect to see Tyone past the fourth inning. Andrew Kittredge is thrown on back-to-back days. He's their most dependable arm at this point. Daniel Palencia, who was their closer throughout the majority of the season, dealt with an injury right at the end of the season, only pitched 2 games before coming into the playoffs. Neither of those in safe situations. He pitched on Tuesday, went 17 pitches, but they're still rehabbing him back. I don't even know if he's available to pitch. He's the most important arm in there for you, and you're only going to get 1 inning out of him. Keller's available, but just going through, once we get to the bullpen, San Diego has a huge advantage. Suarez, Mason Miller, Morjan, Estrada, Peralta, David Morgan, all these guys would be in the closer role for the Cubs, if not the setup position. And everybody's going to be available. Reading quotes from Schilt. Mason Miller pitched amazing last night. He said he's going to be available. Morjan went 33. He's the only one I have question marks about, but he said all hands would be on deck. So I take that as all the pitchers are going to be available to go. I'm on the Padres here again. These 2 lineups, if I need somebody to get hit, I have so much more faith in the Padres' ability to do that with the big bats they have. Bush, Horner, Happ, Kyle Tucker, Suzuki, Kelly, Pete Crow Armstrong. There's a lot of good utility pieces in there, but they're missing that leadership position role that was supposed to be Kyle Tucker this year. He's not fully healthy right now. He's going to be batting cleanup today, I imagine. And I just don't see it being a successful day for the Cubs.
What is your expectation of the total here?
I already said that I would only ever bet unders in the postseason, but this is probably a spot where we could see an over. Both of these teams are going to be battling, using every pitcher, every move they can do to keep themselves in this game. But I think this could get away in the 7th or 8th inning. I think this is an over spot.
Because of the state of the Cubs bullpen.
Yeah, you have all the money on the under, 75% of the tickets, 64% of the cash. I think that's come down a little bit since the last time I looked, but just the way this line is moved, opened up 7.5, juiced 115 to the under, and that's exactly where it is right now. It seems like they're very comfortable taking all that money at 7.5.
It does feel that way, doesn't it? And as Spooner talked about, it's just minus 9% overall for Wrigley today, minus 10% homers, minus 2% doubles and triples, and minus 5% singles. The over is appealing here. Who has the better start between Darvish and Taillon, do you think? Or
I think Yu goes out there. I think Yu pitches a really good game. I don't know if he goes past 4 innings, maybe 5 innings. I'd be surprised if he gives up more than 1 earned run. On the other side of that, I could see Taillon going out there, going 4 innings and pitch really well. But I'd be more surprised to see him have a really good start here. I lean towards Darvish going over his outs prop and setting the table for a good start for the Padres altogether. He's just a really different pitcher. A lot of guys come up here just throwing heat. He has lost some velocity over the years, but still a guy that's got 11 pitches. Very comfortable with his catcher right now. He's pitching in a stadium where he pitched for years. I think there's a good deal of comfort for him pitching in Wrigley here in this big game. I like Darvish's ability to have a good start.
Should this is my final question, Spooner, here. We've already capped Red Sox Yankees if you're joining us late. We did that with Jose earlier. Here's my question. Both the Padres, Cubs, and Red Sox Yankees game have a total at Bet365 public book at 7.5, minus 105 to the over and minus 115 to the under. The Padres Cubs first three is just slightly juiced to the under. It's minus 115 over 2.5 and minus 125 under 2.5. That's it. With the exact same full game total and two very young pitchers on the mound, 23-year-old and a 24-year-old in Red Sox Yankees, the first three under is 25 cents more expensive at minus 150 to the under. And that tells me that I shouldn't bet the first three over 2. Just because I can't bet the first three over 2 in the Padres Cubs game doesn't mean that I should necessarily gravitate towards it in the Yankees Red Sox game. It's telling us that these two young pitchers. Now, we also know that it is not slightly, 5% more run suppressing weather. But what do you take from that price difference? The two vets, the market says, are more vulnerable than the two youngsters. Would that take you off of the first three over 2 in the Yankees Red Sox game?
That's fascinating difference. You wouldn't think it's that way. Early and Schlittler, both could be very good pitchers 5-6 years down the road. Yu Darvish and Tyone are both really good pitchers. So when they're going to project this, they're not looking at the last couple game stats, couple week stats. They're using years of data to make these projections. With Early and Schlittler, they can't do that. So there's a lot of variance baked into that, as well as the pitch. They have to lean to the side of less error with them because that's all the data that they have shows. So I guess it's not overly surprising that they would expect them to pitch well, but maybe it tells you they really expect either Tyone or Darvish to give up a few runs here early.
They do. They do, which it's not going to make it easy for me to hit the button on the first three over 2 because it's so juiced. The risk reward just is not quite there. To close out this great MLB segment, started with Jose Bouquett in Yankees, Red Sox, and then Spooner, most valuable, capping the other two spots here. We close with the pig milk play of the day, and it is the San Diego Padres first 5 minus a half at plus 138. Alt line plus 138 for the great Billy Friedrich. And while pig milk is on the Padres' first 5, Ron Crawford and the spreadsheet play of the day is on Spooner's Chicago Cubs. Wow, how much fun are these games? At this point, the only thing I have is Flaherty under 11.5 outs at plus 110. For our guy Spooner and for Jose's action, Jose has the Guardians first 5. Spooner has the Tigers money line at plus 110. And Spooner, Padres, Cubs, you just have Padres on the series, or are you doubling down on the game as well?
I had money on the money line as well. I got on the 108 last night. I have 3/4 of a unit on both of these money lines. I did the same thing because I have the Tigers series as well.
And for the Tigers series, Spooner, you got what?
Tigers series, I got minus 112.
Minus 112, 8 cents better than me. I was a little late. And then on the Padres series, you got?
106 plus.
Yeah, and you beat me there too. I only got minus 101. Plus 106 here for the series. Beautiful work, Spooner, my man. And then Spooner on the Yankees. First 5 minus half, minus 103. And BJ's best bet is the Yankees money line. Isaiah Scurry in the house. What up, Isaiah, my man? Spooner, thank you for all of your hard work all year long, my friend. I know college basketball will be calling your name soon, but right now we are in the thick of playoff baseball. I'm going to pop your X handle here in the chat. Please support our friend Morgan Spooner. Spooner, my man, any last words for Capper supporting the show?
No, good luck with your baseball action. Football tonight. I'm going to be looking for that 49ers live plus 14.5 for tonight, but look forward. I'm going to join you Sunday morning for NFL best bets.
Yeah.
Right, guys. Good luck.
Be great to have you, Spooner. There he is, Morgan Spooner in the house. Nash Nate says, what was the Cleveland game look? We'll review that here quickly. Shout out to TJ Parks in the house. Juan Ruiz, OG Lowbagger in the house as well. The Cleveland looks, so we have a lot of action on it. Jose is on the Guardians first 5 minus 115. Spooner is on the Tigers at plus 110. He's got the Tigers series at minus 112. I'm on Jack Flaherty under 11.5 outs at plus 110. And it is a hedge of sorts because I'm on the Tigers to win the series. You can cash both. So I'm on the under. And that under 11.5 outs is still sitting there at plus 110, still screaming at plus 110. That is MLB for Thursday, October 2nd. We started with Thursday night football in NFL, and we're going to touch it again here with our next guest before we get into the Canadian Football League, and then we'll put a bow on the day's proceedings. And then I head down to Niagara Falls, get ready to have some beverages, some brown liquor, calling my name. Please welcome our next guest, a man with a depth of knowledge surpassed by no one I know in sports. Please welcome our guy, the Goracle, in the house. Gorky, what's good, man? How are you?
What a goddamn intro, bro.
Gorky, it is time to get to work, my friend, and you wanted to touch on your action for Thursday night football. Those of you that rock with Bankroll Blitz, I'm on the first half under 23.5 and the full game under 46.5. Now, that was with the thought that Purdy would be in the lineup, but no Purdy, no Jawan Jennings. We have no Ricky Pearsall. Of course, we have no Ayuk, who's not returned from.
They might not score 10 today, Jimmy.
I would. If you offered me that bet, I would hammer the over 10. I do believe in Shanahan more than others. But Gorky, please tell me your action for Thursday Night Football.
I was lucky enough to get it at minus 3.5 plus 100 on Sunday. It was open for about 5 minutes.
The Rams minus 3.5 at plus 100. That is a spectacular line. Andrew G says 49ers score 10 to 17 points.
I just want to say I got it the same time the Ireland game was going on. Like, it wasn't even over yet. And I was like, I have to jump on this. I have to make this happen. And I think it's going to be my bet of the week, to be honest with you. Because win or lose, you're getting plus money at a price that's like double what it is right now. Like, it's 8.5 or something.
9, yeah.
I just need 4 to cover.
Oh yeah, no, you nailed. You absolutely nailed that. By the way, Coin, Jose is on the Boston Red Sox. Billy Friedrich on Tungus, 4 or more catches at plus 138, and Nut Flush Island. So we have the corner of Pig Milk and Nut Flush Boulevard. That does sound nice.
And if you want, I will put out, or I have put out my baseball action, but I'll just touch on it also here. In the Detroit-Cleveland game, I'm on the over 7.5 because everybody thinks that these two offenses are nowhere to be found and this and that. I feel like these two pitchers are absolute gas cans. If I had to pick a side, I would pick Flaherty due to the fact that he has pitched in the playoffs before. It's a first time for Slade, I do believe.
No, Slade was a part of the Diamondbacks run in the playoffs.
Yeah, but was he a starter though?
He pitched some huge moments. Let me grab Slade Cicconi's playoff stats here. Career stats for Slade. I'm a Ciccone believer.
Wow.
Yes, he didn't start. You're right, in the 2023 postseason. Just came out of the bullpen. Didn't pitch much. That was his rookie year. Remember, he came up in 2023.
Yeah.
He only had 4 starts on his way up.
That's the year they made the World Series run, right?
It was.
Yeah.
It was. So that's your only action in MLB is the over 7.5?
Sure. I'm on the Padres -1.5 as well.
So Gorky is on the over 7.5 here. And he is on the Padres -1.5 here. Okay, Gorky, you are in business, my friend. And Chase says Flaherty over outs easy. See, Chase J, my thought here, and look, I could be very wrong, is even if Flaherty pitches well.
The Padres number yesterday was good too, plus 150 plus 150. I'm just looking at it right now. Might take it.
And AM says, being really busy traveling and work, I'll look into these games deeper and post some plays in our Discord. Thank you for that. All right, Gorky, it's time to get into the Canadian Football League. And I was so caught up in
what I've been waiting for all week, Jimmy.
I was so caught up in getting not keeping Bobano so long that I did not get his action, which is my fault. I meant to do that for CFL, but I was just rushing. Yes, sports scientist Jacob, definitely Discord for all silver and gold members, and we will get that to you. I'll copy and paste that here. All right, let's get into the Canadian Football League. Gorky, here we got 3 games to attack. We start Friday, October 3rd, 7:30 p.m. Eastern with the Saskatchewan Roughriders this very evening at the Ottawa Red Blacks. The Rough Riders 10-4, 5-2 at home, but coming up their second straight loss, 27-25 at Edmonton last week. They're on a short week against the Red Black team coming up their bye week. We last saw Ottawa in as ugly of a game as I can imagine. 26-18 home loss to Winnipeg with Chris Streveler. Chase says they will jump on anything. He's just going to have to be amazing, and he will. Look, it's sort of a hedge of sorts, Chase, and I get it. With my under 11.5 outs. If he goes over 11.5 outs, then the Tigers win the series.
No way Flaherty goes over 11.5 outs. No way.
Oh, I would be happy if that was the case.
Not a chance.
Plus 110 on it. Ron Crawford is on the Rough Riders -3.5. It's been a pretty interesting move towards Ottawa. It's too bad that the Rough Riders are off of 2 straight losses because this is a sharp move towards the Red Blacks, and it's one that I agree with.
I'm glad I got on it when I did.
They're now a 3. The Red Blacks are now a 3. And look, I'm not a Bob Dice fan, but Rough Riders are on a short week against a team coming off of a bye late in the year, and that just is a problem in the CFL. We see it year after year after year. In the last 5 weeks of the season, a team on a short week against a team coming off of a bye, it hurts them unless that team has no chance at the playoffs. And you could say that about the Red Blacks. They are in a terrible situation, and also there's not as much pressure on these Rough Riders as one would think, because Calgary has not been playing well. All Calgary, Winnipeg, and BC are all tied with 8 wins. The Red Blacks here can still get into the playoffs.
All they got to do is get more wins than Toronto, no?
And Toronto's just a game up, and the Red Blacks have a game in hand. Take it away for us here, Gorky. Rough Riders, Red Blacks.
The Red Blacks correct me if I'm wrong, please, but I believe that the Red Blacks hold the tiebreaker with Toronto, right?
I believe that's the case, and I will double check that here.
Because I was on the Red Blacks in BMO Field when Toronto was up 16 and ended up losing the game on Chris Schultz Day.
So what is your plan here, Gorky?
My only angle here. Oh, by the way, let's mention that Lorenzo Molden has gone to Calgary for a second-round pick, I believe, in next year's rookie draft. So that's a really big defensive line piece for Ottawa, gone to Calgary. He's going to get to play in the playoffs.
But it's one that Dice didn't want on his football team.
Yeah.
It was a problem in the locker room, and he didn't want him. He shipped him out. It's not like they gave an asset away.
No, but listen, your best players are always going to be your most problematic motherfuckers. But it is what it is. It's a juggling act. And some people are going to say that Ottawa is punting on their season. I don't think that at all. I think here Ottawa has everything to play for, at least for another week. It's going to be the last time that they can do anything to control their own destiny. And they're going to have to pray and hope that results go their way from here on in. And, of course, they have to keep winning every week. No more losses for the Red Blacks.
What the hell went down in that 26-18 home loss to Winnipeg with Strevler at quarterback? I mean, it was so astonishingly bad. I could not believe my eyes. I even live bet Ottawa and took a second L because I was on them in that game.
I wanted to pull my hair out live on camera. Like, I wanted to come on here and tell all the people that I want to go outside and reach up to the trees and hang myself while holding myself off of a tree branch. Honestly, that was the worst football game I've ever watched.
So what went wrong with Drew Brown there, and what will change here after the bye week?
It's urgency, Jimmy. Urgency. You can't lose. I don't care what happens. And I would be playing into the narrative that they want you to play into, that Ottawa thinks that they're already eliminated if you don't give them a chance. In my opinion, the Riders have had the West locked up for a month already. They don't need to play as if they risk anyone in terms of their players. So, yeah, they're going to be out there, but are they going to give it their all? Probably not. Because already you have really big pieces in the defensive secondary missing. You don't need, God forbid, Trevor Harris to be the next one. Because if you miss him for even a week going into the playoffs, you're in trouble. What's behind him, Jimmy? Mayer and Tommy Stevens?
I agree that it's clearly the Red Blacks is a sharp side here. But if Saskatchewan loses here and then they're 10-5.
Yeah, you're still good.
Well, they get to host Toronto at home, but then they play at Winnipeg in week 20, and then they play at home versus the Lions in week 21. And
how many wins does second have as compared to the Rough Riders?
They all are tied with 8 wins.
8 wins, all of them?
All 3 of them, yeah.
Okay, so basically what we're saying is they cannot miss the playoffs, correct?
Right.
They are locked into the playoffs.
That's true.
Okay, so that's the most important thing, because once you get into the playoffs, it's a 3-game tournament.
Well, it's a 2-game if you get the number 1 seed, and then you get home field and then the Super Bowl. So I think that's the only concern is that I do think that off of 2 straight losses, Mace is extremely upset and they expect to go into Ottawa and beat them. Rod's Wackers of Saskatchewan 6-1 against the spread versus Ottawa since 2021. Says bet on Saskatchewan after allowing 7.6 or more yards per play in their previous game. Saskatchewan record since 2024, 10-2 against the spread. Ron Crawford on the Riders -3.5 as well. What did you get here on the Red Blacks, Gorky?
What I got is what I posted a week ago, Jamie. Let me look at it for us.
Okay.
Let me look at it for us on Twitter, as it's going to be faster, believe me. Because if I go into my drawer, we're going to be
You can get that for us. Let's set up game 2 here of the CFL weekend. Saturday, October 4th, 3 p.m. Eastern. We have the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
I got it.
Sure,
plus 150.
Plus 150?
Yes.
Plus 150. All right. Red Blacks. Plus 150. We have the Hamilton Tiger Cats 9-6, 5-3 on the road to the Toronto Argonauts, 5-10, 3-5 at home. We're at BMO Field in Toronto, Ontario. 71 Fahrenheit, sunny, 5-mile-per-hour winds. Hamilton comes in off a disastrous 43 loss at Winnipeg last week. Absolutely astonishingly bad, atrocious. Toronto comes in off a 27-22 loss at BC, and we cashed the first half under and the full game under. It was a game that they should probably feel okay about themselves. And now Arbuckle hasn't been practicing. He's been limited this week, but we expect him to be under center. The Argos have a 1-day rest advantage, but the embarrassing loss makes me want to back Hamilton on Saturday. Let's take a look at the line history and hear how Gorky is attacking this spot. Saturday, October 4th. The Ticats are -1.5. This has not been moving. Open -1.5, -110. Now it's -1.5, -113, which means the money line is widely available. Which I want to bet. I want to back the Ticats after that loss. This total is a 57.5. It's just an insane number. Hamilton's defense has to be better. The Argonauts' defense is improving. Again, I want to get in the way of a extremely high total. And when I do it, I mean, this is just taking, years off of my life, but I don't see how I wouldn't expect Hamilton to step up defensively and Toronto to do the same. Hamilton just allowed 40 points to the Bombers. When we go back to the first time these teams played, and Gorky was talking about the spot, it was in week 13, the last time they played, 35-33 Toronto over Hamilton. And it was, alarming amount of points were scored. And I just feel like things have changed at this point. That there was 28 points scored in the first half in that one, and then only 10 points were scored in the third quarter. It looked like the full game was going to go under, and then 30 points were scored in the fourth quarter. I'm going to pull up the first game, but Gorky, take it away. How are you getting paid here?
10, I believe it was like 10 points in the last 35 seconds or some shit. Anyways, I was messed up on that one. I still feel the pain of losing that parlay. Anyway, I think that Hamilton is going to be angry at the Argos for doing that to them Labor Day in their place at Iverwin Stadium or Tim Hortons Field or whatever the hell it's called now. I think Hamilton is also angry at their performance from last weekend. So we better all go to church or wherever we pray at to pray for the souls of the Argos, as I believe they may eat a 50 burger here.
Yeah, I mean,
Hamilton is going to come out so ready to go, Jimmy. Here, I believe that they might cover this total by themselves.
See, AM, I read it so different. AM says this line screams Argonauts, in my opinion. See, to me, this Hamilton just lost 40-3. This line to me screams Hamilton because they just got beaten so badly. And so I guess I need to sit with it longer if that's where it takes you, AM.
If I may say, Jimmy, that was a Winnipeg spot all day, and I gave it out for the show, but didn't end up moving on it for my pocket purposes, which unfortunately so for me, because I was confident in it to give it out on the show. So I believe that this line being so short in the favor of Hamilton is a gift, because it means that we don't have to chase points at all. I would have this line set at least 4.5 if all things were actually equal and the line makers were actually sensible here. I think this is a smash spot for Hamilton Tiger Cats backers.
Well, I'll sit with it longer, AM, because we all just saw the Ticats get annihilated. That's when I want to back a football team, is after them getting annihilated. So I disagree with the take, AM, but I respect your take, and we'll think about it longer. Gorky, your plan here.
I think I just told you my plan, brother. I think
what's the line that you got?
This is part of a parlay for me. I got minus 125 on Hamilton Tiger Cats, but they're part of a parlay. It's a 2-teamer on which I got plus 110. I do believe I posted it on Twitter on like Tuesday.
Let's roll on to the Saturday night game here. So Nuke Walker, are you fitting? Because there's a whole bunch of plays being in the chat. So I guess you are with. I guess what Nuke is saying is he's fading our plays. He's backing Ron and Ron's play. So he's on. I guess what he's saying is he's on the Rough Riders, and he's on the Argonauts. So I guess can you expand on that, Nuke?
So why don't you take them as singles then? They are both dogs.
Let's talk about the final spot on the Sask and the Argos for you, Nuke. Okay. Stampeders 8-6, 3-3 on the road to the BC Lions, 8-7, 4-3 at home. We're at BC Place in Vancouver, BC. Calgary comes in off. Oh, let's get that. Just quickly get this last. Is it here? There we go. Calgary comes in off an ugly 38-20 loss to Montreal last week. Came on the heels of getting destroyed 52-23 the week earlier at home versus BC. It's pretty interesting to imagine what's happened to this Calgary defense. They have now allowed 90 points over their last 2 games. The Lions coming off an underwhelming 27-22 victory at Toronto, but that's not the angle here. The angle is BC went into Calgary in week 16, and we know that Rourke was picked over, big play VA, and BC destroyed them 52-23. So generally speaking, you would then back Calgary to come in and give BC the payback. And that was my first plan. This total is a 56. It opened up at 55, is now a 56. And then on the point spread here, we have a 3.5. And it's just not moved. It's just sat there and sat there and sat there. In fact, it's taken 5 cents towards the stamps. Ron Crawford is on the over here in Calgary, BC. Take it away here, Gorky, our final spot on today's show.
This is my favorite. Like, this is the best play on the board if you want to play overs, team total overs, all of it. But I'm backing BC here in my Saturday parlay. So BC and Hamilton at like plus, I believe it was 115 or whatever I posted on Twitter on Tuesday, and you're tagged in it, Jimmy. And it's a spot where BC once again can consolidate what they've done so well the past 3 weeks, especially on offense. And I'm starting to want to back these guys to win the Grey Cup, Jimmy, at crazy odds. I think they can win a game or 2 in the playoffs and surprise some people. As long shots, I would give it a shot.
Yeah, their offense is certainly capable with Rourke playing at a very high level.
They cannot get a single stop. That's the issue.
It is a serious issue. Be well, Roger. That be well, Justin McKelvey, Newkirker on the Lions -3.5 as well. I mean, the issue I have with the line here is they're obviously opening up their arms to Lions money, and they're opening up their arms to Rough Riders money. And by no way am I saying that being on the Lions or the Rough Riders is a mistake. It's just, it's clear the books are very comfortable taking that cash, and I've got to figure out how I'm going to attack it. Let's review action here in CFL. We have Gorky on the Red Blacks money line, and he's on a Ticats Lions money line parlay. Rodswag says bet against Calgary in home games on the money line second half of the season. I mean, this is a road spot though, Rod, for Calgary, but I will keep that in mind. Calgary record since 2023 season 0-10. It's in BC, right? Because BC went to Calgary week 16 and destroyed them. Andrew G says Thursday night football tonight. Yes, we have our big live stream tonight. Gorky, thank you so much for rocking with us, my man. Go out there and get that cash. And
guys, don't forget to join us tonight. I'm not sure who else is joining, but I know I will be here. I believe Troy will be here tonight. And you guys, the most important people in the chat, holding down the chat is you guys, the viewers, the people we do all this for.
yes, thank you to all of you guys supporting the show. And thank you to you, Gorky. Pop your handle in the chat. Much love to you, my friend. And I will be talking to you here shortly. Thank you to all who rocked with us today, Thursday, October 2nd. Let's do a final review of action here on the show. Stacks play today. Number 1, Carpenter over 1.5 bases. Number 2, Stafford interception at plus 105. We got horse action from Fap Win. 2 races today and then 1 tomorrow. I will copy and paste that and pop that here for you guys in the chat. If you're looking for a little thoroughbred action, that is from our man Fap Win. Pig Milk play today. Padres first 5 -0.5. Billy Friedrich on the Guardians, Padres, and the Yankees. Talk sports with JT. Puka under 95.5 receiving yards. And Detroit money line, Detroit Tigers money line. Dougie Wise free bands play of the day is a 2-team 6-point teaser. Rams -3 in the under 51. Spooners on the Padres money line, Tigers money line, and Yankees first 5 -0.5. 9 legacy flank stake play of the day is Carpenter over 1.5 bases. So we have flank stake, the corner of a 9 legacy and Stacks Boulevard. He's also on San Francisco 49ers over their team total. Gerald Jones is on San Fran, LA Rams under 45. Michael Johnson on the Rams -2.5 and under 52.5. That's his teaser. J Dub on the Padres plus 100. I'm on the under 23.5 and the under 46.5 on Thursday Night Football. You can't get those numbers anymore, but you might get the opportunity to move live if a team gets an early touchdown. That's my action here. We have Gorky got that Rams at plus -3.5 at plus 100. Thank you, Newkirker, my man. I will, my friend. Then in college football here, we have from Bobano, New Mexico +3 and the over 57. Worth it. Thank you, my friend. It means a ton to us. Go get that cash. And join us in the Discord. Sweaty Butcher gave us the prime cut, and it is the Colts -6.5 from Sweaty Butcher. He'll be joining us alongside Spooner on NFL Pub Hub on Sunday. More action from Bobano. The Cincinnati Bearcats team total over 27.5 -108, and the over 54.5 -108. Illinois Fighting Illini and Purdue Boilermakers over 55.5 -115. Bobano also on Purdue +10. Over 57.5 in Boston College, Pittsburgh Panthers. Over 51 in Air Force Navy Midshipmen. Vandy +11.5 in the over 55 in Vandy Bama. And Matty Ice is sharing his best bet of the weekend. It's the Lions money line in Montgomery anytime touchdown at -125. It's the first game Montgomery's sister will be attending live since she was paralyzed. And so you can already see, Montgomery cashing the touchdown and bringing her the football. It's a pretty good look, Matty Ice. The over 62 for Bobano in Boise State, Notre Dame. James Madison minus 19.5 at minus 110. The over 61 in Virginia, Louisville. Michigan State plus 12.5. ODU minus 20. And Cal plus 3. Gorky's play today is New Mexico money line as well. Just my 2 cents play today is Tigers plus 110. And Talk Sports with JT is also on the Tigers. I said minus 1. It's a plus 113 spot he got. Then in Major League Baseball, Gorky on the over 7.5 in Detroit, Cleveland. Guardians first 5 for Jose at minus 115. Spooner on the Tigers at plus 110. And the Tigers series at minus 112. Spooner on the Padres money line, and he already got the Padres series at plus 106. Gorky on the Padres run line. I got the Padres series and the Tigers series, so I'm just letting those roll. And then I'm on Flaherty under 11.5 outs at plus 110. Third time in a row facing the Guardians. I know that the lineup is not one that instills fear in their opponents, but it certainly feels like a difficult spot. And where Hinch will be ready. I expect Hinch to be ready. Jose's on the Red Sox plus 138. Spooner on the Yankees first 5 minus half minus 103. And I'm staring at the first 3 over 2 here. I'm going to kind of spend a little bit more time. Ron Crawford spreadsheet play today is the Chicago Cubs in MLB. And Nut Flush Allen gave us Jake Tunge's 40 receiving yards paired with Tutu Atwell 20 receiving yards at plus 760. And that is our show for today. Thank you guys for all the support. Ronnie Crawford, Rod Zawacki. We do. Tigers team total under 3.5 is the 10-star play of the day for Rod Zawacki. Gorky, Ronnie Crawford, Some Meat, Jermaine, Worth It, Nuke Worker, Chief. We have Roger That, Lex Steele in the house. Thank you guys. Andrew G, Justin McKelvey. Thank you guys so much for rocking with us. Chase J, TJ Parks, Billy Friedrich, Dougie Wise, The Wager Detective, Irish King, Nasty Nate, big game for Nasty Nate, Timmy Two Shoes. Thank you guys all for your support. No show tomorrow. Big live stream tonight. I will see you guys on Sunday morning for NFL Pub Hub. On behalf of all of us at Pub Sports Radio, thank you guys for rocking with us. Now go out there, get that cash. Leche. Hey, los bookmakers. Get that fucking cash. And